For the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. Frozen. H6 all the hate. I won't get involved today. Got lost in the ballin' age. I'm flipping the bars. I'm flipping the. On record, off record. I still count wins when they doubt it. On record, off record. I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals. Tell them talk to Colin for the quote. On record, off record. I still want the act, not the ghost. Running through it with the young influence. Adolescent presence. I'm succumbing to it. I've been giving yeses when I shouldn't do it. I complete ejected with the loser. And I'm barely moving, but I'm still gon' boost them. I can't work on winners when I know you're losing. So I went the winners and they throw the deuces. Guess I had to pivot, shooting the bazookas for the facts. I need racks, paper, cash, fuck a tax. That's a joke. Tell them laugh. Uncle Sam, fuck out the bag. Brody plot, we'll get a whack. Contract, give me the max. I got lab on my back. You ain't that, then it's raps. Whoa. For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record.
Welcome to the GRG podcast.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record. For the right.
Welcome to the GRG Podcast, where you get all the latest gaming news, hot topics, and more. With guest Triple Cup Chuck, Livewires Gaming, 108 Dragons TV, Bloody Knuckles, Operations Ops 100, live, and your host K Mega 405. The GRG Podcast
starts right now.
That's my wife. She listening to that Jesus, whatever that is.
Mute your fucking mic.
What's going on,
nigga?
man? We going live right now with all types of craziness going on tonight. Jesus Christ, Lord. Anyway, man, Google been tripping with me. I can't show the icons to show people who's talking. Then the stream, I've had the stream set up like I've always had it. Then it's been tripping, been going to other places. I reset it, recalibrated. It's still sending me out somewhere else. So I got to start working on that probably tomorrow, this weekend, to see what the hell are they doing. So most likely got to do some resetting. It's always something goes on with the mighty Google. But anyway, we are here and we are doing it live, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing it live. Man, got a great show tonight. We're a little light, but we do have a special guest. We were supposed to have another special guest. I have no idea what happened. Was going to have a diehard PlayStation guy to come on the show. We did the negotiations and we're saying, hey, man, you know, you get on my podcast, I'll get on your podcast. We could do it. It was like, yeah, bet, cool. Well, then when it came down to crunch time, nowhere to be found. I'm like, okay, tried to hit dude up. Didn't hear nothing. So I was like, damn, okay. All right. So
you know why I came, Mega? Because Death Stranding dropped.
Stop it. Let's not get started already. Let's not get started already. But anyway, so last minute I had to hit my boy up, man, and I'm glad that he came on, man, because I was kind of like, man, and really glad because since we were already short tonight, I was like, all right, cool. So I hit my boy up and I asked him to come on, say what's going on. So, hey, without further ado, I know y'all can't see the icon. It sucks, but I will put the links in the description once I fix all that stuff again. And hope you guys go check them out. Go Go support him. Hoodnewzmedia. I'm sure that you may have seen him on social media and Twitter. I don't know if you get on Facebook. I really don't mess with Facebook that much anymore. I'm mostly all just on Twitter or Instagram. But what's going on with you, bro? How you doing? How you feeling?
Good, man. I brought the hood in and everybody just splattered. You can't get no Facebook, can't get nothing working. I don't know what's going on. So, you know.
Hey,
it
man.
be like that sometimes.
It does. But hey, you know what? It is what it is, man. Glad to be here. You know, we can make it happen and make it work. I don't know if that's Bloody himself or if Bloody got an animal.
Someone getting screamed on? What's going on over there? It sounds like domestic violence.
I don't know.
That's my dog. That's my dog.
When did you get a dog?
No, it's a Death Stranding baby.
Stop it. Let's not do it.
Hey, you leave baby nuts alone. You leave him alone, goddammit.
Anyway, so yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Death Stranding. That'd probably be one of those little topics that we'll start off the show with. So first, I think we'll talk about the controller. But before that, I got to finish up the rest of the introductions. And man, my man out here, Live Wire. What's going on with you, bro? What's happening?
Not much. You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, not much, man. I've just been, playing a little bit of Death Stranding, walking across America.
Oh.
My wife was laughing at me. I'm trying to explain to her what it was about.
Oh, man.
She was like, what you playing? I was like, look, I got to walk across America to connect America back to America, you know? She was like, you do hear yourself. I'm like, listen, it's just a game. What do you want from me? But yeah, and the Elite controller is special.
Yeah, so you got the Elite controller too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, cool. No doubt. Cool, awesome. All right, and then we'll move on to my main man, 108 Dragons. What's going on with you, bro? What's happening?
Life is going on. And you know what's real good about life? I ain't playing Death Stranding. I ain't got to fight for my minutes back in my life, putting my time into that bullshit game.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I heard that game was made for UPS so people could go and get jobs.
No, it's FedEx training. What's wrong with you?
Oh, so when you go to work on your first day at work, they make you play Death Stranding, see if you can handle it.
Facts. They put all them boxes on your back. Say if you can do this, you can do that.
You gotta get.
Don't lose your balance. Don't lose your balance.
Oh man.
Job training 101.
Doing too much. Doing way too much.
No.
All right. And then last but not least, my main man, Bloody Knuckles, the man with the Satan rings. And you know what? I'm over here looking I was like, is the gameplay messed up too? But man, Op gonna send me some shit. Man, where you just sitting there on the blank screen for how long? It's been like 5 minutes. Where's the gameplay?
Yo.
Where's my boy Op, man? Where the lawyer at, man?
Hey, I told you he's sending out that shit because he sends them short clips and he never checks on it, and then it look like stupid.
But like it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. Oh. See, I could have had all this stuff checked. Lemon, because you said that I should have checked this, and you're right. But I was doing something special for the show. I was doing my studying of Death Stranding.
Damn.
And I see what's going on. So anyway.
All you gotta do is watch your local delivery, man.
No, ain't no local delivery guys doing what this dude is doing. But anyway, man, first off, let's talk about the controller. Right off the bat, okay, who has the controller? I know Lemon got it. I know Live said he got it. Did anybody else have it?
No, I ain't got it though.
Okay, no, I don't have it either. So, all right, I'll start off with you, Live. What is your thoughts about the Elite 2? What's the pros and the cons?
Well, the cons is my A button is sticking right now.
Already?
Yeah, it was sticking right out the box. So, but I can't get a replacement until everybody who did their pre-orders they time out, which is Monday.
Okay,
so
all right.
Yeah, I should get that on Monday. But
You bought it online or you bought it like to the retail store or something?
no, I went to this Microsoft store online.
Okay. Cool. All right.
But I mean, other than that, man, it's great. Like, it was great. So, I mean, but shoot, you know, for what you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You better get that value. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's definitely better than the first one. It's lighter. Like, cause there's no batteries, so you know, I guess that's what makes it a lot lighter. The fact there's no batteries in it. But yeah, it's nice, man. It's not. It looks smaller though, but I don't think it is. I think it's just the way that the bezel looks on the old one versus at the top versus the new one, where it's kind of like streamlined. So it just looks smaller. But man, it's nice, man.
Okay, cool. All right, what about you, Lemon? I seen your video. It was good in that video, man. You put some oomph into it. You know, gave a little history lesson and all that. Man, it was a good video. I really enjoyed watching it. You know, even though you was more bragging about 2K, nobody cares until I beat you.
I really wasn't. But being that you want to bring it up,
what's your thoughts? What's the pros and cons, man?
There is really no pros. Everything that people complain
about. No pros?
No. You know what the pro is? Most people are going to be complaining about that price, but get your weight up. You want to be part of the elite club.
That's a con.
Got to spend that.
That's a con.
Oh, yeah, you said pros. My bad. Everything is a pro.
Are you drinking already?
Nope, I'm about to start though.
I haven't even put it to my lips yet. I'm like, damn, are we getting started, man? Damn.
Yeah, he done hit that bottle early.
Yo, what's the best game for that controller? What's the best game for that controller?
Well, usually with the first series, it was definitely first person shooters. It didn't work well with sport games, but it runs excellent with 2K now. I mean, it was like a serious. I don't think I threw a bad pass yet.
Oh, did you tweak your
No, I didn't even touch my nope. No, sir.
Yo, that is, bro. That's different, bro. That is different. Like, I put the key in and I turned it. I said, "Oh, this is tight." You could feel it. Like, there's no gimmick about that. You can feel it.
So it's a virgin controller. You feel that tightness.
Yeah.
If you want to say it like that, yeah.
Like you definitely had to lube up getting in there.
Like they,
I forgot.
If you know anything about playing Forza, right?
Yeah.
Tighten that controller up and play Forza, you be like, man, I'll be on the road. Like, because, you know, racing games, you lightly hit that analog stick and you flying all over the place, but you tighten that bad boy up, what? You're like, yo, I'm hugging these roads. Like, yo, we're Don. Come see me, dog.
That's the way to do it, man.
Until he get a Elite 2, and then he's gonna be trapped again.
You know what Don said? Don said he's not gonna get one. He said I think if he does get one, it'll probably be a lot later. But he's not really excited about it. Him or Predator, they're not excited. But see, if I was Pred or Don, because see, Don I think went through 3. And Predator went through 5 or 6 of the Elite 1. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I would have been like, nah, bro.
That's a them problem. I went through 1.
I mean, they got hands of stone, but
even when you see my video, my hand is dwarfing that controller. Come on, man. What are y'all doing with the controller? I don't even want to ask. I'm not going to even say that again.
Shit.
I'm not saying that again. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about that. How was the sweat for that? Like, if you sweat, you got sweaty fingers. Like, does it like help with the sweaty fingers or not? Like, they got the grip.
The grip is excellent this time because it's fully wrapped on both sides. They're not in 4 different sections, so you're only gonna really be able to tell over time how good the grip is. That's not really something you could tell out the box, but the controller feels excellent in the hand. I mean, excellent. The paddles are smaller. The paddles are smaller. Everything from the other. If you bought custom. Like, I got custom Halo sticks, Gears sticks before the Gears controller dropped. I got custom paddles, so it all cross over. You know what I'm saying? And they made the paddles smaller. The dudes with big hands, I'm not hitting the button by mistake all the time no more. Because I had took the paddles off the last one. All I was worrying about was the hairpin triggers. Now, if you want to get into the hairpin triggers, with the new one, you got a 3rd level of hairpin triggers. which is, oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I'm playing Call of Duty. I'm tapping the triggers, and I'm tearing people up. It's just nice, man. And the built-in battery, 40 hours of battery life. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I might have to get that.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely
Nice.
interested. But I see Op is finally in here, man. What's going on with you, Op?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Sorry for being late, but
Yeah.
what's going on here, bro? Just chilling, bro.
And sorry about your gameplay, man. You gonna sit here and have me post something, man? Your gameplay, you just sitting on the damn thing for like 5 minutes before you start playing the game. I was like, God dang it! I should have checked it.
Wait, what happened this time?
Okay, so like you was in the menu for like about 5 minutes before you did anything. I thought
Must have been his internet
I
service.
thought no, bro. Don't start that. Don't let me post it again about the quality. Anyway, so
Do you not even check your own gameplay that you send them? Like, goddamn, boy.
I got to check
really.
it. I got to check
Posting
it.
Lego.
Did he just call you boy?
And then what's bad is that like Bloody sent me his twice, but neither one of those worked. So I don't know. But that was some good. But that was some good gameplay though. The second one.
Hey, what do you mean? What do you mean they didn't work? I was like, I set and uploaded both of them twice to 2 different links and made sure that they worked each time.
Neither one.
Did you not download them?
No, I couldn't download them. The first one I didn't see anything, and the second one I couldn't. It wouldn't do it, and I got Google Drive as well.
You said twice, Bloody. Maybe it was a bad delivery from Death Stranding.
Hey,
left
at
a
least I
ticket.
set mine.
Maybe you wasn't home.
But it's all good. It's all good. But it's backward because I was like, man, because we had a late start because there was all kinds of issues going on. So anyway, but we're ready. We good to go. So yeah, I can't speak on it. It looks dope. I'll take a chance on it here a little bit later. It might not be available now or whatever. Well, by the time that I'll look for it, probably about Christmas or New Year's or whatever. I'm not in no big hurry to get one.
Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday. There could be something that goes on sale. That would be great.
No, they will not.
Maybe not. I don't know. But if there's a Black Friday sale, I'll definitely cop one. But also, again, I have one of my elites. The other one clunked out on me. Basically, it worked, but it didn't work. Put it like that. And then my second one, it works, but the rubber is all off of it. So I mean, I'm like, look,
What you doing with your controller that your rubber's off?
Hey man, I goes all in. All's in. So
You got 2 New York dudes in here. You might be in trouble.
I might be. I already see how this is gonna be.
Oh,
But anyway,
shit.
and just think if we had J-Tech in here, what that would have been like. So regardless of that. So anyway, shout out to J-Tech for skipping out on the show.
He wouldn't have been able to keep up at all.
I don't know. I've heard some crazy things, man. Maybe that's why my boy 100 didn't come in because he thought it was gonna be some crazy shit or something. No, we keep it country. We just keep it civil. But yeah,
That's probably why Homeboy didn't show up for PlayStation.
No,
he heard about 100.
Please, we ain't civil with the shit. Let's be real.
What'd you say?
I said we ain't civil with the shit. What are you talking about?
Speak for yourself, Viva la Mexico.
All right. So let's talk about.
Buddy, I'm sorry.
Come on now, get it together.
You just proved that you. That's why you just.
Get it. Come on,
motherfuckers, don't say shit. Goddammit.
I will not say anything else about Death Stranding for at least 5 minutes. I am sorry.
Well, we're gonna talk about Death Stranding, but Kill, can we chill out and talk about the shit instead of going left for a minute?
He said the shit.
We do this. We can go left at the end of the show. We can't start at the beginning of the show going left. Come on now, get together, guys. All right, so Death Stranding. Let's talk about it. The game came out yesterday. A couple of people had it. Some people had it early, but the official launch was today. I seen people showing the cases. Didn't see too many people showing us gameplay, but lo and behold, I had to go to my main man, Bloody, watch his stream. I think I watched about three, almost 4 hours. How long?
You cut out at 4 hours because I was doing it for 4.5.
All right, so yeah, I right when Bloody started, I hosted it. I was like, man, we gonna get in. We gonna see what all this is about. Is this game of the year? Is this one of those games that's an absolute flop? We're gonna find out. I'm gonna see this for my own two eyes. I mean, I know that it's one of those games, games that you can play, of course, to actually get the feel of it. But I can personally say that you get a lot from looking at the game from watching somebody else play it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So the people that were saying that, like reviewers and people that said that they was watching other people play the game, yeah, I can definitely get that vibe off of it. So I'm gonna go straight to you first, Bloody, because you was the main one I know that was playing it. Live said he has it. Does anybody else have Death Stranding?
Nah.
Nope.
Lemon, you talking shit about it, but I know you got it, right?
You must be crazy.
Okay, all right. So
I'll castrate myself and run around New York City butt naked bleeding.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, man. I was like, you going extreme. Like, chill the fuck out.
Wow.
No, I'm not. I hate that dude after that game. I hate it.
No. I get that, but some of the shit you saying, come on, man. We better than that.
Oh, kumbaya, my lord.
No, I'm not saying to be kumbaya. I'm just saying don't talk about cutting off your dick and running around butt naked. Like, that's some extreme shit, all right? That's after dark talk, not on the show talk.
Well, I mean, we're already talking about it. I mean, we can't go no damn after dark than what we doing now.
Yeah, blame it on that motherfucker.
Open season.
It's
All right,
it's dark outside, so it's dark outside.
So Bloody.
Oh no.
What did you think about the game? Pros and cons. Talk about the pros first, and then give us the cons second.
Okay, so pros first. The story is interesting. Some of the stuff that they were talking about within the story itself did have a lot of interesting concepts. I understand how they kept some of the stuff that I brought up before in the past has definitely been confirmed. I was like, and there's a little bit more that even I was kind of questioning, want to know about. The story definitely has that intrigue that you would expect from the stories that Kojima has put up in the past. Gameplay wise, it's not the best. I was like, it definitely feels that they definitely modified the Decima engine and taken a lot.
Hold on, you was real quick with the pros and went straight to a negative.
Yeah, because of the fact that I'm gonna be realistic about it. Because of the fact that I'm not. No, because of the fact that if you shut up and actually let me talk, you would have heard this for the past 4.5 hours. The gameplay, what they utilized with the Decima engine, they definitely did a lot of tinkering with it and made it a modified version of what they achieved within the Fox engine. They definitely improved on what Guerrilla Games did with Horizon Zero Dawn. The game looks beautiful. It absolutely is stunning in its detail. There's a lot of great aspects to the environment, to the character models, and a lot of what they do with the cutscenes. The biggest complaint though is the gameplay. It has a lot of interesting aspects, but it's just lacking. You can see where he took a lot of what they built with the previous Metal Gear games, specifically 4 and 5. Those gameplay elements definitely showed up, and what was attainable and being able to do this. However, the way that the gameplay loop works right now, it's kind of just a lot of the complaints that's been out that it being tedious absolutely holds up. And I was like, and I had a lot of this conversation with some of the people within the chat. The delivery stuff, it's just a pain in the ass because you find like 7 different things halfway to the area you got to go, and it's in the opposite direction. So you got to turn back around, run all the way back, and then go back to where you're originally going in the first place. And then the inventory management is a pain because of the fact that a lot of the buttons don't show very well, that you have to continue to hold the buttons. I was like, so when I'm sitting there trying to do multiple things and organize it, it's not making it very easy to manage the systems with the cargo management. And that's an annoyance when you're literally having to manage nothing but cargo. If it's not easy to manage everything that you're trying to do, it's a pain in the ass. That's one of the biggest things. It got interesting when you actually had to sneak around the BTs and find new routes around and set up the different paths. If the game consisted more of the stealth aspects of creating new routes around the BTs and a lot more of the sci-fi elements that they introduced, and like Metal Gear Solid 5, the game would be a lot better. The action would be a lot better. Like right when you stopped watching was right when I started meeting the mules, which are the opposing like free demon factions that are trying to stop the reconnection of society from the UCA. Fighting those guys is actually pretty fun. The only thing is, like most action RPG games, is that it's a single button. It's all square, and I didn't have any weapons at the time, so I'm just sitting there punching and kicking and fighting these dudes trying to defend the stuff I have to deliver. It got cool after that when the fact is that there's a lot of traps that they're trying to use to locate you. But I don't have any weapons, so I don't know much more about it than that. I don't know what the weapon system is like that. I don't know if the game, when they actually introduce guns, because they do show that they have guns, if it's going to feel like they did in Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5. So I can't comment on that aspect because I haven't gotten to that point yet. But when they started introducing those, that's kind of adding a more unique element to the delivery system. But again, it's still so far into it because that's 4.5 hours in before we started seeing stuff like that. With some of the people that I mentioned...
I got a question for you. Does it feel like a simulation or does it feel like a game? Like, does it feel like, you know, those games and simulations where you got to do stuff and it's like, man, this really feels like real life doing it? It's not supposed to be a game, or are you playing it like a game where it's like, man, this is trash?
No, it definitely has a lot of simulation aspects. Like, the fact is you do have to manage your stamina. You do have to watch your endurance. You do have to, one of the big elements that they have is like the time fall, which is basically the rain, but it speeds up and accelerates time. You have to manage the damages to the packages you have to deliver because they can only resist the damage from timefall for so long before they actually start damaging the packages themselves when you make those deliveries.
They should have marketed it as a simulation then. Why they market it like a freaking game that it's not? Like, to me, it's like...
they marketed it as an action game. And everyone who watched, I'm playing it on hard mode because of the fact that I'm always gonna go on the hardest difficulty because I ain't no punk bitch like I have for other people. And I showed the baby back reviewer mode because they have very easy, right? We made fun of that. But the thing is, it's very much a simulation. I was like, it has its RPG elements and action elements that you would expect, but it's so far to get into those elements that it makes it very tedious for people who are wanting to get into it right away. I was like, and that's the thing that sucks. Like I said, when I had to get to one point in the story and you first had to start hiding from the BTs and stuff like that, right? That was cool because of the fact that when those things actually catch you and you having to escape and outrun them while also trying to sneak past, that was actually enticing and actually badass. If the game involved a lot more of that, it would be a lot more interesting. But everything that kind of fills in between those aspects before you start running into them on deliveries is such a drag. That's my biggest thing. Like, the ratings that this game has received as a 7.5, that is fairly accurate. Like 7.5 is well deserved for this game.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You said how? You said what?
Nope. I'm saying what I'm saying.
Can I say something? We need to just call this game what it is. See, I waited 5 minutes. It's not
your turn yet. I'll come to you last. So because you already got started. You already talking about castration and all this crazy shit. You go last, and we got a guest as well. So I gotta go. But you know what I'm saying? He hasn't played the game yet. Okay. Yeah, I got you. But okay, go ahead. Finish, buddy. My bad.
Like I said, this is definitely every complaint and every statement that's come out about it is absolutely accurate. If this game doesn't interest you at all, that's perfectly understandable. This is more of a game definitely for someone to watch than to play. I'm going to get through it because I'm intrigued, even if I have to slog through it, but I'm going to entertain everyone else doing it because of the fact that I understand other people's frustrations with games like that. I do. However, I'm going to do it because of the fact that I have my own investment into it, despite everything. I was like, I don't think it's an amazing game. It is not an amazing game. It absolutely is not. It's a good game. It's an okay game. It's an okay game, and that's fine. Not every game has to be like out there. You're seeing a lot of people who are being quiet on it because of the fact that they were hyping it up to be game of the generation, and it's definitely not. And a lot of the media is showing that. And that's fine. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Just accept that. I was like, I've been saying from the get-go, I'm intrigued, and I've always had that intrigue on it. I haven't been hyping it up. I'm not one of those people, but at least I'm going to stand by my word. I was like, is this an okay game? Yes, it is. It is definitely an appealing story game. I was like, but outside of that, if it does not interest you at any point, you forcing yourself to play it is not going to do you any favors. That's just a fact of it.
Okay. All right. That's a fair assessment. I mean, because like I said, I watched you play that whole game from when you started it, went straight through, picked the hardest difficulty, all of that. So yeah, I mean, that's a real honest assessment from Bloody. You So now we're going to hear what Live got to say. Now, since I don't know how long have you played it, but tell us how long you played it. Give us your pros and cons, Live.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I have played it for about 5 hours. I don't know if I'm as far. Were you at 10 hours, Bloody?
No, I'm at 5 hours as well as you. I was like, I just started heading to I just finished the first way station heading to the distro center.
Distro center. So I got to the place where the bike is.
Okay, then you're a little bit after me.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to be going to this other place, but I just stopped right there. All right. Well, confession. Yeah. Last night, this morning, I would say, I was contemplating. I was like, you know what? I got 48 hours. I could trade this in to get Luigi's Mansion.
Come on, man.
But I was thinking, I was like, no. I said I was going to play it, and like Bloody said, the story is what's interesting about this game. I'm not going to lie. That is what's interesting about the game. The gameplay isn't bad. It's not. The issue is, it's something that you would typically do on like a Grand Theft Auto type mission, but one time.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it one time, you're doing it all the fucking time. And that's what the problem is.
He put emphasis on it.
No, he's right. He's right. That's the best way to put it.
Because I know a lot of people are talking a lot of shit, and excuse me, I got a cold and I'm a little stuffy, but they're talking all this. Well, this is some mind blowing shit. It's different than anything. No, the only thing different about Death Stranding is the story, like every other game, because all the stories are different. Otherwise, we wouldn't play. Call of Duty just came out with a different story. Like all the stories are different. Stop with the bullshit. All right, Death Stranding has a different story. It's an interesting story, totally. But the gameplay is stuff we played before.
Yep.
Don't tell me this is some unique gameplay, motherfucker. It's Humans Fall Flat. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh shit.
It's Humans Fall Flat in an open world. That's what it is, with some stealth mechanics. The BT, which one is the BTs or the?
Yeah, the BTs are the invisible. Those are the
shadow spirits things. Yeah.
So I was listening to somebody on a podcast talking about they was fighting the mules. They were like, "Oh, the mules are so tough." I'm like, I just gotta run. I tried that shit, and then I ran into some BTs, and I said, "Fuck this! I'm gonna just have to throw my deuce up." I realized
you mean BT? You mean mules, right?
Yeah, beat them. You can't beat. Well, the BTs, if you get caught, you can try to get away,
right?
They'll pull you in, and then you got to do that boss fight thing, which I just refuse to do. I didn't turn the PlayStation on. Man, I saw Nethos doing the boss fight. I said, "Oh no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be sitting there in here running around for 20 minutes waiting till that thing to die. Like I can't." So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna push a pause. And the thing is, when you turn the shit off, it brings you right back to where you were. I said, word, I'm gonna do that. Fuck that shit. So anyway, so the mules, bro, you can beat them motherfuckers up. As long as you know how to slide, like when you run, you can slide and they'll try to swipe at you. You slide under their hits, and then you punch them in the back of the head and kick them in the ass. And you do that shit like 4 or 5 times, depending on how many motherfuckers is there, and then you just raid their camp. It's mad easy, but the thing is, it's super tedious because you got to do. They'll basically say, these are the mission structures. Oh, such and such stole some shit. You got to go to the camp and go get it. Oh, we need you to deliver this package to this location over here, and they'll say thank you for whatever the fuck it is that you gave them, and then cutscene. Basically, all you're doing is you're doing all this walking and shit, and trying to survive these encounters with the BTs just to get to the cutscene to figure out what the story is. Like, to be honest, this game would be so much better if the gameplay was just not only like he did way too much focusing on the traversal of it. Like he could have had some. I'm trying to think, man. He put so much emphasis on carrying so much shit You know, because I mean, right now you only can carry. Well, I only can carry 135 or 37, whatever it is, 130. Once you get above that, you start like you can't even really walk. You basically, just crawl slow as hell. So you can't be encumbered like that. You're just not gonna be able to move. Um, but it's just it's too much of a focus on that. And I don't know what these motherfuckers was thinking when they was playing this game to give it like a perfect. Like, don't get me wrong, like maybe they were thinking um
It's a PlayStation game. That's what you were thinking.
no, like
I mean, he's not wrong.
but it's like you could literally probably play this game from beginning to end with the same amount of abilities that you have right now. The only thing that really forces you to do anything different is like, all right, I got to build a bridge in my next mission. So they're going to make you do that. But the real objective is literally all my main objective is just to go connect the internet across the country. That's it. Delivering packages is just like some side shit that they asked me to do on top of that. I have to do it because it's kind of like part of that mission. And what they do to try to delay that shit is like, all right, you get to a location, you connect it. Oh, you got the internet. You're like, all right, I'm about to fuck off and go to the next spot. They be like, oh, well, you need to deliver this package to Mr. Magoo over there because he needs some, dialysis pills, or I don't know what the fuck. Like, you need, what I mean? So I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So I gotta go over there, do that shit, come back, and then they're gonna give me another mission to do something else, come back, and then they're gonna give me another mission to do some shit and come back, and then they're like, oh, now you can go on to the next spot, and I'm like, God damn, this shit is.
Did you meet Jeff Keighley?
Nah, I'm not even looking for that. When I see that motherfucker in the game, I'm hooking him.
He said I'm gonna give him a hug. All right, man. So, all right, cool. Has anybody else played this game or seen any gameplay of it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll go after you, Lemon. So Lemon, go ahead. Let's hear what you think. Give us some. You got to give us a pro though. You got to give us a pro, and you got
the graphics are nice.
Oh yeah, it looked good.
Okay. All right. So there's got to be more than that.
No, I mean,
I'm waiting. Go ahead, Lemon.
I am going, man.
Oh shit.
Yo, listen, man. This game turns a human into a goddamn shopping cart. You gotta balance stuff on your back. Yo, let's just be real here. You gotta balance stuff. No, it's true. You gotta balance stuff on your back. You gotta worry about weight management, your endurance, the like Bloody said, and he's being real. The what you call it, the menu system or the
cargo management.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
The boss fights, and I've watched plenty of people play for the last 2 weeks. I gave this game a chance. I have enough sense to know, and watching somebody, oh, I like that game. Okay? Now listen. Boss fights are simplistic. They're not different than each other. The fighting mechanics are not good. You're walking around all day. I mean, come on. We heard masterpiece, game of the generation. I mean, we didn't make this stuff up. But when you watch people play, Bloody was co-signing this game even at Comic-Con New York. We was still debating. Now, what I heard Bloody say tonight is exactly what I've seen everybody do and say the same exact thing. Everybody's not wrong. Let's not say all action games got one button, because they don't. God of War ain't got one button. The mighty series of Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor ain't got one button. Batman ain't got one button. I can keep going. What he did is made great cinematics, cut scenes, which he usually does, and he got ridiculed for that in Metal Gear Solid 2, where you couldn't even skip past the 2-hour talks The first talk was 2 hours long with the dude with the guns. Y'all forgot about that Metal Gear Solid 4? They had to
I
patch it
know.
in. You
That's
had
facts.
it was-
That's
Yes.
facts.
yo,
Again,
this
I know.
this dude has a vision that's incredible. Every time he makes a game, though, I don't mean your vision is being portrayed to the community in a gaming situation.
Yep.
Gaming, not movie, not Netflix, because he needs a Netflix deal. This dude is different. He has a different talent. He's like a Steven Spielberg dude trying to make a game, and it's just not working out no more. Metal Gear Solid. The story of Metal Gear Solid we all fans of, but let me just say something, man. At the end of the day, I don't care how good the goddamn story is. You gotta keep me wanting to play with some cutscenes. I mean, with some gameplay, not cutscenes. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yep.
about a balance of mixture. And I hate to talk about this dude, but it is what it is. He got fired for a reason. His visions are no longer in the direction of gaming. The ending is 2 hours of video. Come on. All right. I'm gonna get off subject. Detroit Becomes Human. Is that not a great mixture of gameplay and cutscenes?
Oh,
God of War.
Yeah,
Is that not a great between
well, I wouldn't say
gameplay and
great gameplay, but Detroit's story was so compelling. Oh my god!
I mean, but the game, you didn't lack for anything gameplay wise, and it's like a Telltale game.
Yeah, no,
but
you're right.
Okay, let's talk about this. Great cutscenes, right? Excellent, but the gameplay matched the cutscenes. You can't have great cutscenes and bullshit gameplay. This is what people don't want to say. The game's a masterpiece. It's boring, but it's great. What game has been rated boring and great at the same time?
Look like Death Stranding.
Yeah, see, that's why I said about this is like even when me and Lemon were like Lemon was mentioned that me and him had this conversation back at New York Comic Con. I told him I still had a morbid curiosity about it, and I stuck by that. But I did tell him that I understood that, and I understood exactly what he said. But he does make a good point right there. Is that and some of these reviews where they claim it is perfect, how do you say that? The gameplay is boring and tedious and all this, and yet that story is so phenomenal. How do we get to the point where gaming is no longer about gaming; it's about story?
Right.
That's the issue. Is that's not being consistent? Yeah.
And forget what the reviewer said. He said at times when you play my game, you're going to feel alone. That's not
and
good
bored.
to say. And bored. Yeah. That's not good to say. You didn't sell that game to me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do with the dude who don't go out there and do day one. I'm going to I'm a window shop, and I'm going to look from the side, and I'm going to see people play this game. I saw that game and said, you ain't getting my hard-earned money. No, sir. No way. He's bugging. He's bugging. And everybody said, why Konami let him go? There you go. He's bugging. You can't have one aspect of the game and don't have the rest. Because at the end of the day, we want action. We want not even a great story. We want a good story and some great action. Every console player, every PC player would prefer a good story with great action over great cinematics with bullshit gameplay. That's a fact. I'm done.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So before I say something, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being kind of rude, man. Good news, man. What is your thoughts, your interpretation of what you've seen or maybe even heard of Death Stranding? I mean, is it a game that you would even be considering wanting to pick up?
I think for me, it's like this is a perfect game for PS Now. Throw that shit on there real quick. Just
agreed.
Just throw that shit on there.
Yo, you need to come on a show every week. That was messy.
I get what he's saying. I don't think he's being foul flagrant. I think that I agree with him. I think this is more like of a perfect example. If PlayStation had a Game Pass for PlayStation Now, it'd be a perfect pickup.
Yeah, I mean, for me, myself, I'm going to watch it on YouTube. I'm going to wait for someone to cut all the clips together.
Oh, shit. See, now I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. But Go ahead.
I'm going to watch the video. I'm going to sit with some popcorn, and I'm going to watch those 3, 4, 5 hours of that movie, and I'm going to be straight. I'm going to be good.
Yeah, I was going to eat some popcorn last night. I fell asleep.
Oh, man.
But for real, I think they should have marketed like a simulation. He needs to do movies like my man said. He needs to do that Netflix special. Get away from games. Just do what you got to do, man, or just do the Telltale shit. Just where you press one button and skip to the next scene. Something, I don't know. That's what I think about it.
Okay, what about you, Op? You got anything you want to say about Death Stranding?
For me, from what I've seen on Blaze gameplay, it pretty much confirms my observations from last podcast. Like, this game probably should not have existed at this point.
Come on.
I'm being serious. If he's saying it is more digestible and better experience, if you watch someone play it and play it yourself, and it's a video game, it does not have no reason to exist at this point.
Come on, bro. You're the lawyer. You're the most kind-hearted dude on this podcast, bro.
Dude, I'm being honest at this point. Nothing makes sense at this point.
But he's not a liar.
Come on, man. This man
is being real.
He's the most kind-hearted dude in this podcast.
This thing contradicts everything about gaming.
Oh, shit. What? We have corrupted the lawyer.
Nah, you corrupt me. This game corrupted me. I'm done, man.
It was called Pac-Man.
Oh, man. Okay, all right. So you think the game should never came to existence? Think that this game is an absolute horrid piece of work?
I mean, the story elements look interesting, but the gameplay just looks subpar. So at this point, it's better off being like a budget movie than a game at this point. Because from what we've seen right now, the gameplay input, all that is not worth it. It's boring as hell. It's forgettable. So like everybody been saying, this dude needs to go on Netflix because he's in the wrong business. He's in the wrong field right now. Like, this is what we let this man off the leash, and it is not good. Like, there's a reason why Konami had to get this dude like in check, just get the games out, because like if you let him do what he wants to do, this is going to happen.
And you know what's crazy?
Damn.
Now that Op said that, it's like being insulted by a dude with intelligence. It sounds worse.
It sounds horrible. This game should have been put into existence. Come on, man.
God, he sound like Spock. Just disrespect the game.
Yes. Like, yeah, bro. Okay. Okay. So here's my interpretation, and this is why I think that you guys are all wrong. Okay. K-Mag is going to be the man, the man of the hour for my PlayStation brethren. Okay, no, I'm not. I can't do that.
You put the crack rock down. I see you, man.
I can't do it. Okay. Play the music. Yeah, play the music. Keep it going. Listen.
See, at least is being 100% honest, because of the fact that Rob's kind. He's the one who's the most unbiased.
I think everybody is being 100% honest within their right to be of how they feel about the game. I have not put my hands on the game personally. I've watched Bloody's gameplay. I've watched plenty of other clips, but I really wanted to get a feel of what that game is. And like I said at the beginning of the show, before we started this topic, was that I picked up a lot just for what I've seen. And when people said that, they were right. You can pick up a lot just by watching that gameplay. One thing is that, listen, the Docker engine is probably one of the best engines out there. It rides
Decima.
Decima engine. I'm sorry, Doc. I said Docker. My bad. The Decima engine is one of the best engines out there. That thing is absolutely stunning. Even when you're just looking at just an empty world, it looks beautiful. Water streams, the grass, it just looks absolutely like, it's just beautiful graphics, man. And I'm sure if it's, you know what I'm saying, here in HDR, that thing is absolutely just insane. So kudos for Sony for knocking it out the park visually.
Real quick before we move on, Bloody, is there dynamic weather in this game?
No.
Yeah. So the timefall and everything that happens within it does change over time. I was like, it'll sit in one area and then it'll clear up and then it'll be in a different area. So the way that the timefall works is it does change depending on the area.
Okay. So as far as weather, just rain.
Yeah. So that's what I've run to only right now,
Okay.
as that seems to be the biggest contributing factor. But I know that it seems that there's different whether that happens the further you get into the game as you make your way more across the Western United States.
Yeah,
but I haven't gotten to that point.
It depends on where you're at. Like, I know if you're in a specific location, it changes from location to location. So, like, say you're in the location and you die or you lose your packages or you restart, the weather's going to still come on around the same time. The BTs are going to be there at the same location. Like there's no, like, you know, dynamic to that aspect of the game. But it's just like, you just like, as you progress, you don't know when it's going to happen. But if you're in the same location for a period of time, you know the DBs are going to be where they were before. So.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Well, I'll tell you a game that's pretty compelling and people ain't really talked about is this gameplay right here of Need for Speed. Need for Speed is the shit. I enjoy it.
Yo, it is pretty good.
It's good.
Yes.
It's good. It's not excellent. It's not Forza. It's not
good.
GT.
It's good.
But it's a fun arcade racer, and it has a pretty dope story. The music is fire, actually. But anyway.
But you said with Need for Speed that it brought back a lot of the customization that we experienced way back in the day, because we've all been missing Underground.
Yes, it has.
But it's expensive. God damn.
It has.
But that's how Underground works.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I was like, I want it to be earned for it. Like that's good.
Yeah,
you said that was a good return to form about what the classics used to be, not the way that the new ones try to do.
It is. But let me finish my point about Death Stranding. Okay, so listen, I think, like I said, I think the game looks beautiful. I think the game is got potential for a first title. But then when you hear articles that's like, this game is so good that it doesn't need a sequel, then
that's saying for itself.
That's saying for itself exactly what it is. And listen, I watched Bloody from the beginning to just about to the end of where he stopped at, and I couldn't. It took about 3 hours before the game got to a part to where I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. It put me on the edge of my seat. Right when he sit there and he after I was over here thinking to myself, how is this so? This world has all this technology, but this man couldn't carry his mom to this place. Why? I mean, why he had to carry his mom? Why he couldn't use a machine? Like, that shit was weird to me. But I'm like, while he's over here going through that, I said, okay, that's just whatever. Okay, fine. But then once you got to that point, and then you started to see the BTs, come, and then the story starts to seem to form from that aspect of, of this baby that they want you to discard. I looked at it as like, hey, okay, all right, I'm digging it. Okay, this got some real good potential. Kojima's over here winning me over with that. But the thing that brought it down again was that you have to do the same boring shit with these packages, and I have no excitement about that. Like, yeah, it looks crazy, and it may have some kind of appeal to it to certain people, but to me, that's just, I can't do it. So, like, I was seeing somebody in the chat that was saying, oh, you guys are so used to bro shooters, and you're right, we play a lot of shooters, but I mean, as a gamer, I want to feel like I'm more involved into the game instead of feeling like I need to be told what to do every three or 4 minutes. That was another thing that was annoying to me.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you for bringing that up. Is that the game makes you feel stupid. I was like, it literally explained everything 3 hours later. That I found out in the first 15 minutes. One of the biggest things that I complained about, and you can ask Christina because she was in here, is the fact of there was one part 3 hours in, it's just like, hey, I don't know if you know this about your scanner, but if you use it, you can tell the variance and the dangers of the terrain that you're on, as well as how to track the area on which way to go. I was like, I figured that out from the beginning. I know how to find packages with that. Why do you need to condescend me 3 hours later and remind me what I already knew?
Right, like that was a waste of dialogue and an asset in a sense. I mean, I know it's just wording, but I'm like, Why do you have to do that? And there was a part that I was kind of funny. I thought the same thing, and then Bloody said it himself with Die Hard, whatever that dude.
Die Hardman.
Die Hardman had to say, after you already talked to this man like 3 times, yeah, this is Die Hardman. Like, I know who you are, bro. That's like I come in here and I say, I'm K Mega. How y'all doing? I'm K Mega. How y'all doing? I'm K Mega 45. How you know what I'm saying? Like, chill out. Like, and then the thing that really, out of everything else, like I could co-sign even the somebody's TV or something on, whatever. I could co-sign. Yeah. I could co-sign some of the things, even with the mail packaging stuff or whatever. I could co-sign a little bit of that. But what I cannot co-sign is the fact that the game is even trying to cater to some of these non-gaming journalists by having a very easy mode. Bruh. Listen, let me explain this.
It's not that easy because they
listen,
complaining.
Come on, Live. Listen, that to me was a huge turnoff for me because
that was hilarious.
I sit there and I'm watching Bloody and I'm like, oh well, this is extra hard, so it's got to be like very easy. It's got to be pretty much just walking and just experiencing the game, want to get to the story, move on. To very hard where it's chaotic, like it's almost treacherous, like Sekiro style or some shit. Very hard mode is like normal to me. I was like, what is going on here? Why is this ain't hard? This isn't hard. What do you?
And you have to point out, K Mega, that Bloody has advocated for this game and he's co-signing what people are saying.
Right.
So
he brought the collector's edition. So Bloody is all in. I said this when I was making fun of Bloody last week for him not be on the show. I mean, he's all in. So I mean, that's the thing. Like
yeah, I saw that video, you assholes. But hang on. While I've said about the game, have I not been as honest as I have been about it?
No, you gotta get a.
That's right.
Yeah, there's gonna be people that's calling you a fraud. But listen, you spent the most money than anybody else.
Everybody.
Well, but Bloody has the most utmost, the most respect and loyalty to this game. And should be, I said that wrong. He should get the utmost loyalty for this game and for that man Kojima's work, that he should be getting the respect. I see a couple of PlayStation fans are saying that we frauds and all that stuff. Listen, I don't see you.
I
asked.
They're gonna lie. They're gonna lie.
No, I asked a boy and he said it's in the mail. Okay, so if this is a
it's
game
in the mail, if it was serious, you should go to the store and get it.
Product for you, damn sure it's already ready to be played at 9, 10, 11 o'clock last night. So I don't want to hear about in the mail.
In the mail, you lying. Only thing in the mail is your food stamps.
How many hours?
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on.
JP said there's no easy mode or hard mode. So very easy is what we call So very easy mode is what we call reviewer mode because of the fact that it makes it so that way they can get through it. Hard mode is the normal mode for the rest of us, or even it's our easy mode.
I see it with my own 2 eyes.
And you don't hardly see nobody for a long time. When is it hard? You make the mountain climbing a little harder.
So like I said, ask Kudasina, right? She saw when I first ran to the mules, right? When K Mega dipped out, I was like fighting them. I was like Light brought up, it's not hard. I was like, but it was a little bit challenging just because I didn't have any weapons, and I was still trying to figure out how the combat worked in the game. Once you start getting stuff later on, I can only imagine how it goes and gets easier from there.
All I want to know is what's the peeing of the mushrooms for?
The peeing of the mushrooms?
I haven't tried to pee on anything yet.
I would R. Kelly that whole game. I'll be pissing on everybody.
Yeah. I was about to say, I haven't peed out. I haven't peed any yet, but I'll check it out later.
Oh my God. I don't see how y'all got any sense and can co-sign anything that this game is doing. You peeing on stuff? What's wrong?
I mean,
people, come on.
I mean, like some of the extra stuff in the game itself that I just felt like they could have put that in for extra, like things that's going on within the game that for action or something. Like, you know, we got you know, it's cutesy stuff. They got the main character sticking his tongue out, you know, doing all types of weird stuff.
I wasn't doing none of that.
Yeah, no, and so I'm like, okay, cool, all right, but it's just so strange to me that like people would consider a game like
Want
this
to do nothing
to be
strange for a piece of change, K Mega?
like I would think that it's like for a game that's like that. For a game to be like that, it's like, I mean, I get people can be excited for it or for a different genre of game like this and say that it's needed, which I'm not complaining about that one way or the other. But to say that this game is a lot more faster paced than Red Dead 2, or to say that this game is better than Red Dead 2, or
no, I was like,
or even have the audacity to say that this game is
so like the stuff that people complained with. So the stuff that people complained that made Red Dead,
I found that to be horrible.
So the people who complained about Red Dead saying that was boring and the tedious stuff, no, that actually is a simulator at that time, but it's still more engrossing and what to do. The fishing in that game is actually, and there's at least more gunplay. You know how often you get into gunfights in that game?
You could initiate gunfights. You can't initiate nothing in Death Stranding. You got to, matter of fact, take off your boot and check your corns.
Oh no! See, here's the thing. Here's the thing that Christina mentioned that would have actually made this a lot better, right? Is she said that if they introduced the mules earlier on and made them more of a threat, and then had more of the BTs sneaking around, that it would have been a lot more intriguing because it would have had a lot more going on than having to wait 5 hours into the game for that to show up. And I agree. That is absolutely something that should have been done. I was like, if they introduced the mules and made them more of a threat, especially after they mentioned that they go around creating void outs just because they don't want to be a part of the country anymore. They want to be independent. That makes more sense if you make them a threat and have them show up early on, not 6 hours into the game when there's nothing going on for 6 hours in the game except for carrying package A to package B.
Okay, so I would have given a better idea. I would have said that if they had special packages, I don't know about the game, but to me, they should have like special packages that do certain things. Are all the packages the same, or is it like they have?
No, the packages vary depending on who you're delivering to as well as what it is. Like there's different types.
Does the package do anything? Like is there
besides adding weight? No.
See, that's my problem. That's my problem with the game. So you got to give them about packages, but you can't do nothing about the packages. Like you can't.
They're not your packages. What can a FedEx man do with your package? Nothing. You sign it and he give it to you. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like I mean, there's a lot of side mission, but that's the only side mission within a story that seems kind of compelling. I think the problem with the game is that the pacing is all over the place. I mean, if it's like with other games, like with Assassin's Creed or like the new way that they've done that in other games, you can just kind of go through the story and pick and choose how you want to play yourself. If you want to kind of get the story and then do the side missions, that's kind of like what you do, kind of like with The Witcher, other games like that. You can kind of just go through the story, figure out what's going on because you are compelled within that story, and then decide if you want to do the side missions or not. With this game, it's forcing you to do the side missions on top in order for you to
progress through the story.
Progress through the story. And by you doing all of these side missions, from what I gather so far, it's pretty tedious. Because it's just the same thing over and over and over and over again. And let me make one more point before we move on and talk about and get to the other topics. The one thing that I find to be kind of crazy here is that Kojima himself said that the game is about 175 hours to beat. That's K Mega status right there. Like, you know, if a game like that, I'm all in. Let's go. I'll take my time. You know what I'm saying? Put on
the must be to complete it. There's nowhere it's that long to beat it.
No, from what they said is that, well, no, I think from like you're just trying to go through it the way that you can, it's maybe about 40 hours or so. But they said from what to actually get through it, to platinum it is 175 hours.
Yeah,
So you know what I'm saying? That's all. I'm all for that. You know, I like games where I can sit there and put on my Xbox Nuggie and wiggle my toes. I'm with. Let's get it. Let's play. But for me, it's more of how many PlayStation fans are really going to go in like that. That's the thing. Like, because it doesn't, because people can talk, because you can say about bro shooters all you want to, which for the most part for Xbox gamers that plays on Xbox primarily, yeah, there's a lot of shooters out there, a lot of games that's more quick paced action, and PlayStation is more story driven esque. So, but how many people are going to want to stay on a story driven esque game that long? Not very many, especially with the casual market that they have right now. I don't think. That's why I think that
I have something to say too. This is not about a PlayStation game. This is about a game, because there was a game called Watch Dogs. The original one was highly repetitive. The gameplay was weak. It was overly hyped, and it got the same ridicule, the same exact ridicule as this game. So it's not really about a PlayStation exclusive. This is just like, this game is not as good as what people thought. People saw Watch Dogs at that E3, I forgot which one it was, and was hyped. When you got it home and you kept doing the same race to this point, to that point, people said this game is garbage. They had to fix it with a sequel. The sequel was good. The first one wasn't. So let's not get it twisted that we're picking on Kojima, because I love all of Kojima work. Even Metal Gear Solid 4 with the tedious goddamn cutscenes. I loved it. But this game just is not good. It's just not. It don't give you the bells and the whistles. It's not the greatest game of the year. It's none of the above.
Yeah, next week is going to be
it boils down to.
Yeah, next week is going to be a fun topic, because we can get to talk about the game of the year, games that should be considered game of the year. But anyway, let's get off of this, man. We've gone kind of long on it. I'm kind of glad. I mean, get it out of our system. Listen, I mean, people in the chat, let us know. People in that's going to listen to the show later on during the week, let me know in the comments what you think. Somebody's hitting those keyboards really hard. I think that's live.
You know it's Twitter fingers. No.
You think it ain't loud? Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. I don't know.
Loud.
No, it's not. That's a lie. It's not always me.
Uh-oh. Anyway, so.
But you know what? I'm not going to pick on you because you kept it real with Death Stranding. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Anyway, so
I'm gonna send you a gothic ring or some shit.
One of them Satan rings. Anyway,
I'm with that.
All right, so
I can co-sign that.
Co-sign the Satan rings. All right, cool.
Hey, yo, girl, like them. Don't even go there.
Listen, no.
Say,
okay,
Lemon, you was
know
right.
What? I know when my feel of the week is at the end of the show. I know that. So we're talking about that, bloody. That's my feel of the week, is that crazy shit. But anyway, let's get back on topic. Gears.
Hold on, you didn't let him talk. Say, Lemon, you was right.
No, I said Lemon, he was right. I said that.
Oh, all right.
So check it out. Gears5 going through some controversy. And it's a little bit different, because I think everybody once we talk about it, I think maybe a lot of people's going to be conflicted. I mean, there's going to be people that's going to agree 100% with some of these other people that's upset about it, and then I don't know, man. But I mean, I'm really conflicted on it. So what's going on is that there was some streamers that was complaining, basically talking about, hey, we don't understand why you're taking the curb stomp out of Gears5, and what's going on? Why are you guys constantly charging, overcharging for these? They say it crazy. What is it? MUTs, something like that.
MTXs
or whatever. Yeah. So
shorthand for microtransaction.
That's how they call them, microtransactions.
Take it out of it, then they charging for it.
Well, they take it out, and then they complain about, why are you charging so much anyway? So it's basically one of those things where Gears5 has got a lot of heat from especially a lot of these bigger streamers about how it's not fair for these people to be charged the prices that they are being charged for these cosmetics. So I'm going to go to Op, because Op wanted to talk about. Op showed it to me, and I was like, oh, this is definitely a topic. This was supposed to be the first topic, but then, other stuff came up. But What is your thoughts, Hop? I mean, is this something that you feel that is kind of ridiculous, or do you feel that these streamers have a valid point when it's talking about these microtransactions going on with Gears 5?
The only valid point that they have, in my opinion, is that the curb stomp being charged for in the store. Me personally, I think that should have been free because that's something we had since, like, I think the second Gears of War or the first one.
No, it's been since the first one.
So
I was like, we've had the curb stomp since the very first game.
But this is a different type of curb stomp. Have you seen what that other curb stomp?
Yeah, there's two curb stomp, or there was two curb stomps. So the one from Gears 1 is where you see the slow wind up and then they like stomp the side of the head. Yeah. Gears 2 is where they flip them over and then just stomp straight on the face.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that little issue. Everything else is utter bullshit to me. So for the past 10 or so years, people have been complaining, campaigning, crusading that microtransactions are a detriment to the industry right now, and they're going to devalue and belittle games going forward. But for some reason, no one wants to connect the dots that from these past 10 years or so, games became more expensive to create, manage, and to maintain going forward. Because let's be honest, Gears 5, most of these games, this is a live service. It's an ongoing game for years. It is not cheap to maintain and to update this game going forward, especially for server size as well. So I don't get why people think like this. The initial sales for a game are supposed to be enough to, one, cover the cost from developing that game, and two, to develop further content for a game going forward. I can understand people have salaries. They're constantly using the engines to create maps, skins, and whatnot like that. There are costs and stuff as well. And the way I look at it is like for skins and video games, they're essentially the same as commissions for artists online. Let's take perfect example, Soul King. His career is he creates art for people, and I think around the average he charges people about $40. And I would say the average amount of time to make a commission for like a 2D art is probably like a few days or so, maybe depending on how detailed it is. Now let's flip it. Let's take it to a video game. One is 3D art. Two, you have to develop for a video game, which is not stagnant like 2D art. It actually has other systems implemented as well. It has to work with and be compatible with, so it doesn't break the game. 3, there's lighting, shadow tech, all that stuff that has to interact with the game as well. 4, people have to develop it in the engine as well. And from the streams from Undead Labs, you can use some of the tools within the what is it used? Unreal 4?
Unreal 4.
Some of the tools are using there to create skins, but it's expensive as well. So you have all this. You have all these different elements. On top of that, they have to pay the person to create them, and they have to code into the game as well. And we're being charged under $10 for these skins. That is a steal. The amount of work and effort they put in these skins should not be under $80, in my opinion. Just for the effort alone, just to go into them, make sure they work. So like at this point, people are just bitching and complaining. You didn't like the loot boxes in Gears 4 because y'all hate monetization so much. You don't like to be able to pick what you can buy in this game as well. So at this point, you're trying to cut off any source of extra revenue that they can to continue to fund this game as well. Because at this point, they're pretty much capitalizing their previous one is because they hate loot boxes, they hate map packs because that splits community. But now that we have a choice about what we want, they rather go back to the old system. So you'd rather split the community and bitch out loot boxes than pay for what you want to at this point. Like that makes no sense. So like people are just all over the place. They can't be consistent about this, microtransactions for video games in general. It's sad. Like people, like they swear up and down they want the best for these games, but no one looking at it from an economical standpoint. These games are expensive to maintain, especially the servers going forward, because you have millions of people playing your game daily or probably weekly, depending on the game as well. That just to maintain that server load, make sure everything's running properly, for the most part, it can be pretty hectic as well. And it's a pretty hefty task for people to take on. So I really don't understand the disconnect, why people are so ignorant of these economical reasons for why games are so expensive and why some do implement microtransactions as well. Because this is sad, especially for content creators who claim to be in the know in the game industry. But my last point, like one of the dumbest reasons why people think microtransactions are bad because they look at single player games. That's how they say that they've been doing pretty much all right without them. But let's look at the biggest example for single player game, The Witcher 3. Probably like the biggest champion single player game this generation that they use against microtransactions. Well, let's be honest. It sold 15 million plus copies, I believe, on all systems.
30.
Okay, so that's pretty good. But let's be honest, it took a good while for you to get there at that point. Not all of them were at $60. Most were as sales or bundles at this point.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So let's look at the development for CD Projekt for Cyberpunk 2077. About a year or two ago, it was released that CD Projekt actually accepted a grant from a couple $1 million, at least $7 million, from the government to continue production on their game. So let's look at it this way. If single-player games don't need microtransactions, and you're saying The Witcher 3 didn't need them to survive, why did developers need to accept a grant from the government to continue development on their next upcoming game?
Right. No,
that doesn't make no sense. If they made enough money
I know, Lemon. I know, I see
it. They wouldn't need a grant.
Yeah, no, I would just let.
Doesn't that make sense to y'all? If they made enough money from the previous game, then they won't have to ask their government for a grant to continue development on their future upcoming game. Like, how's that sound to you? Am I bugging? Like,
no, I don't think you're
bugging.
I don't think you're bugging, but yeah, no, Lemon. Yeah, thank you, Lemon. I saw it. I was just waiting for Op because Op don't really go in, but Op has been going in here lately, and I knew that this was something that he was really passionate about, and I was going to let him get his last words in. But go ahead, Sir X-Men, my man. What's going on? He says, K Mega loved the new background. Lemon loved your Elite controller. It was totally off the hook. Talking about your video. And what's up, GRG? What's up, fam? What's happening with you?
Thank you. We got to play that bowling game. Thank you.
Yeah. We got to do some racing. The thing of it is that like I'm glad we kind of recouped because I was thinking like, man, we weren't gonna get anybody because of this stupid Google flipping me back and forth. Like I had the place where we were, and then everything was cool, and then Google did some crazy shit, and now I got to do something else. I don't know. That's so backwards. But anyway,
I don't think it's Google. I really believe it's OBS because that happened to me before.
It could be OBS then too. But I mean, I had an update. I got the update last week, and maybe it could be because that's when all this crazy stuff started happening. So yeah,
just got to reset it. Put the. We'll talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying. Let's not get into full detail about it. We got to go to Hood News. What's going on, bro? Man, talk to me about this controversy because I know that we was talking about it a little bit at the beginning of the show. What is your take on this, man? Are you agreeing with Op or do you have a different take?
Yeah, I think Op just kind of laid it all out. Like, this is exactly what's the problem. I think a lot of gamers need to be educated on the fact that I remember when the Nintendo 64 games were like $80. And now games is even cheaper than that. And they were complaining because it was the cartridges and whatever. And, PlayStation went the CDs and DVDs, but we haven't moved past the fact that we want games for $60. Forget that. We want machines that are $399, $299 to compete with PCs that are, $5,000. Like
yep.
It's just crazy.
It's true.
We're crazy. Like we want this, and this is what we want, and this is how it got to be. But we're getting, like you said, we're getting DLCs now for free. Like what it
Thanks
cost.
To who?
We had
Thanks to who?
Exactly.
Who started that? Halo 5.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't separate the community.
We getting all this stuff, and we're still like, nah, that's not enough.
Yeah.
It's like we want more. Like how much you willing to bleed that stone so you feel like, damn, these companies are going out of business because you like, nah, we need this. Like it's cosmetic. It's cosmetic shit. I understand about the stomping though. Like some of the things that they doing, they need to come and communicate. Like just get on a podcast, explain it, get some videos out there, tell people what you're doing. But
that's the thing, bro. They do. People still complain about it. Like they have a weekly podcast with developers, and people still bitch about it. Like it's crazy, man.
It's part of the gaming industry because you have that spectrum where kids are like 5 years old playing games to grown-ups. So you got a lot of those people complaining they don't have real jobs. They live with mom dupes or whatever. So if they got to spend $20 on
New York cats are just savage, man. I don't get it, man.
Shit.
I don't get it. Just savage.
That's right.
I'm just saying, like, if you got
to complain, get your weight up. Get your weight up.
Get some food.
Get your weight up.
Do it.
You want to play hard? You got to work hard. Let's go. Stop asking for gift cards for Christmas. Do something.
God damn.
We got to pay the bills.
Okay, hold on. Well, let me go check. I was over here trying to put my man's link in the description. God dang. Go ahead. What's going on? Somebody read it for me because I'm looking for it. I got to look for it.
All right. So shout out to Restored Hades for that $5 super chat saying, Lemon is speaking truth. Everything is getting more expensive, but gamers want more and more, and it's sad to see. P.S. Great panel tonight. Love everyone.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I wish we could show you my man Hood News, see what his icon looked like, but of course, you know.
If we're gonna link up and do a New York connection, a New York podcast, it's gonna be ratchet, straight subway system madness.
Shit! He said gonna be ratchet.
All right, they not ready for that one.
Oh no. Oh y'all, extra messy. Just like that pizza.
Hey. Hold on. You know that artichokes treated you well. Don't do that, buddy.
No. I ain't lying, right? Look, I like that it was so good, right? It could be messy. I'm just saying, y'all messy. Like that pizza is good.
It's all in the water. It's all in the water.
There you go. It's all in the water. Off that Hudson, baby. Off that Hudson. See, I'm glad I can make these jokes now because I know.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I think that's it, man. I think just people need to get to the point where, I don't know, gamers need to just get their weight up, or just, that's not for you. That's not your hobby. Get out of there.
No, it's their hobby. They just broke. And this generation is the generation of the Twitter finger crybaby. That's what they cry about everything. They cried in Call of Duty. Oh, you need to nerf the shotgun. It's killing people from 5 feet away. So Activision nerf it. First of all, those guns are built on the stats of the weapon. They shouldn't be nerfing nothing for you crybabies. Get your weight up. Hide in the corner like you usually do. Campers, weirdos.
Yeah.
I don't feel no sympathy for weak gamers.
Okay, let the guests talk. Shit.
Sorry.
No. It's all good, man. I just think, like everyone's saying, I think it's time that they separate the gamers. Everybody don't need to be in the same communities. Like, I don't want to play against people that's gonna be crying all day. Don't change the weapons because someone's crying all day talking about this ain't good. And don't play in that section. Yeah, just make sure you're able to change it up. So if I want to play with those weapons, I can play with those weapons.
Right. Go on hardcore and say people dying too fast. Get your ass out of hardcore.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
I agree. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, well, Lemon, since you wanted to jump in on this, what is your thoughts about it, man? What's going on with the whole Gears cosmetic thing?
Listen, cosmetic don't got nothing to do with gameplay. Listen, Overwatch, mad cosmetics. Nobody ain't complaining about that. Everything in Halo is about cosmetics. Listen, man, if you want to whine, stand in the corner and whine to yourself. Nobody cares because the real gamers are out here playing games. Y'all sitting out here crying about everything, every game, every situation. It becomes so tedious. It's like, we heard this from you already. Say something else. If you don't like something, then don't buy. It's not mandatory you buy cosmetic content. But don't be mad at somebody who spends $700 in Overwatch, which one of my boys did, and he has every outfit that's amazing in Overwatch. But that's his business. You just want to play the game. It don't take away from what you're doing. But stop making your opinion and what you think should be in the game and harassing these developers. They're harassing the developers. It's ridiculous. That's all I got to say.
Not wrong.
All right, Bloody, what do you think about this situation?
All right, so when we were talking about this, I got heated because there's so much hypocrisy and all the bullshit coming from the stupid people of the community, and this is the issue, and this coming from me, right? I was like, I understand what it is to be an influencer, as well as a growing. We all here are influencers in our own right. We all have growing communities. We all do these podcasts. We all have a social media presence. So when we say stuff, it gets noticed, whether it's a very open acknowledgement or not. Everything we say gets noticed. I was like, and whenever we talk about things, whether it's in a podcast, whether it's in a video that we upload to YouTube, whether we're streaming, I was like, we all have an influence and we all have an impact. Some of these people who are using these platforms are using them the wrong way. And these big streamers who are speaking out about the shit and Gears are, one, not really understanding what they're doing, or if they do, that's even worse. But they're using their platform in the worst way because of the fact that they're not showing any true understanding for what it means to support these. As Op brought up, as Lemon brought up, and as Hoods brought up, there's so much shit that goes into what has to be supported and how much it takes to make these games nowadays. We even have a bigger insight because of the fact that we are good friends with the Don. John is a dev. He's talked about to us, and especially with you, Mega, how much it actually takes to charge for some of these models to be done when working with these companies. It's not cheap, because the fact that it's much different when you're a professional artist or a developer working on these character models, because as Op brought up, you have to take into the effect of the character model. It's 3D art. So one, they have to build the model. They have to then work on any shading, lighting. Then, not to mention, if you look at half the character models in Gears, all the little details, every little aspect, then you have to make sure that it, one, works and goes on the animation of the model and everything that they do. So you have to also make them moving models. And that takes a lot of articulation with the models to get them to not over interfere or have what's called clipping, where it doesn't look like things are phasing through each other and looks off and off-putting when you're paying for these. So there's a lot of that goes into it besides just a visual appeal. I understand that the upsetness about the curb stomp. That's fine. Some people have to pay for it. But as everyone mentioned, especially with the fact that they're like, oh, you have to pay $18 for a character pack. One, those character packs actually do something, right? With the new Terminator. One, it's licensing. They have to pay to get that marketing right to use those characters and put it. The reason that you don't see you have to pay for the marketing to use those characters. So the reason it's expensive isn't necessarily the price that Microsoft's putting up. That's what they may be contractually obligated to make it due to the marketing rights and the deal that they have with, I don't know who owns the rights to Terminator, but they have to go with them. They have to go what they say to be able to use those characters. The reason we may have gotten the Dark Fate pack the first time around with the T-800 as well as Sarah Connor was because that was a promotional thing, and that may have been one that goes into the price of what was being included with Gears5 Ultimate Edition and everything like that. So they were taking a bit of the hit. But this one, they have to put up what is being contractually obligated from their marketing team. People who are complaining about that, yeah, the ones, Sir X-Men, with the $5 super chat say, hey, we give money to super chat and no one compares that our money is, who cares if someone wants to spend their money on DLC? It's their choice. Very true. Exactly. We're supporting those devs who are working with those companies to use those licensed models to make those characters and to bring them into something that they want to do, right? That's one way to support them, but they don't always get all that money. Part of that has to go back to pay that marketing fee, but some of it does go to them. That's where the issue is. And people are complaining that you have to pay. One, these characters aren't even just what's used only in versus mode. No, these characters actually have a use outside of those because some of them are used in horde mode. Some of them are used in escape mode. So not only do they have to pay for the models, they also have to pay to, one, build the abilities around these characters, have them made and used for multiple modes, and actually have them make sense in those modes. With the fact that if you look at some of the horde mode characters that can go between both, they have different abilities depending on where you're using them. That takes time to, one, build them into those modes. It's not simple, and people are not wanting to take that into account. And now the fact is, the coalition made it very easy this time around to get supply drops, so that way you're always getting new items, whether it's items that's cosmetics or new abilities for whatever characters you're using or anything like that, anything customizable. It's very upfront. You're able to build those supply drops easily. You get a free one every day you log in, but people are complaining about it. And yet they also offer, hey, look, guess what? You purchase any of the premium currency, that's fine. You can do that. And here you go. This is our store where you can buy those items up front and know exactly what you're paying for and get whatever you want. They have full item sets of all the weapon skins for certain things, or they have very individual skins that you could choose for, whether it's for character models or anything like that. And people are still complaining about that.
It's a perfect system.
It is a perfect system because there's several other games that are free to play that support that system that no one complains about. You have it working in Path of Exile, as well as the biggest one that's been doing it for so long, which is Warframe. One, there are stuff that's seasonal that they do for a little while before they bolt it. And they say, hey, guess what? You missed your time. Well, guess what? We're going to bring it out. You can do these events to get this special currency that you can then use for anything that you missed previously. And not, you can outright buy it all up front without having to grind for it in the game like everyone else. And no one complains about those games. Yes, they're free to play, but they still have people who are willing to throw significantly more money because of the fact that it's a way to sustain them. And if you look at how big those games have gone, they have gotten massive expansions to support their online servers as well as the new additions to the game over years. Yes, we could talk about how Gears has $60 entry point, but guess what? They have taken away season passes. So you're no longer paying for DLC. You're no longer paying for new maps. You're no longer paying for any of that. And not to mention the server usage over years if they're going to support this game. How do you suppose that they're able to support that? Yes, Microsoft will put the money up, but they still need other ways to generate revenue to make it successful because you have to look at it from a business standpoint.
Hey,
let's talk about that real quick. No Fortune 500 company dumps their entire budget into one singular thing. Every division, whoever's working on them, they have to work with a set budget going forward. They have to generate their own revenue to continue operations at that point. Like the fact that they think that Microsoft just put billions of dollars into these IPs just because they don't have microtransactions, you're a fool. And there's a reason why you don't run a company, because you run that shit into the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not the way to do it. What they're doing is they're giving you an option to earn everything if you're willing to put in the time. And I've put in the time. If y'all seen, I've already hit my second re-up in Gears, and I've already been halfway towards my third. I've been putting in time to that, and I've unlocked only a handful of the cosmetics, but I still continue to play that game because I love that game. I'm going to support it by playing it. Is there certain things I would like to buy? Yes, I would. Can I? Not necessarily, because everyone's situation is different. But the thing is, I want to support those devs because they do a lot of work that should deserve to be recognized. The people who are complaining now say that they should go back to the loot boxes that were back in 4 because those were perfect and better. No, they were not, because you motherfuckers who are speaking about it now saying that the loot boxes in 4 are better were the same ones complaining that you hated loot boxes back in 4. That you want to be able to buy things outright, know exactly what you're getting, and should have that option instead of having to play random roulette with this gambling bullshit that people have with loot boxes. So they give you what you want, and then suddenly the previous issue is better.
Go ahead, Hood. Go ahead.
Do you think they should bundle some of these cosmetics though?
But they did, and
they do.
Yeah.
And Halo, they did the same thing. Halo started this. No season pass.
No, for Gears 5, did they bundle the cosmetics? I haven't really.
Yes.
I mean, I bought the game outright.
A lot of them too. It's like
I don't know.
Some of the games, some of the unlocks in the game for the cosmetics, you can buy outright when they're featured in the store, or if you unlock them by playing, you get that whole weapon set. Like with the weapon skins, you don't just get an individual one, except for the ones you get from the supply drops. There's certain ones that you get the whole range of them for every weapon. If you hit that rank or whatever, it unlocks for all of them.
And
same as some of the.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say some of the special collaborations ones too. You can buy outright if you don't want to buy them. They have the ape weapon skin and the special models for those who like the ape apparel gear. However, you get a free code for the gear stuff if you bought any of the ape apparel that you can use to get all this unlockables in the game. There's 2 ways to get them and 2 ways to support that you get bundled depending on how you want to do it. A lot of that stuff is bundled, but people just want to complain.
But all right, let me bring up this point. Remember when Gears came out?
What happened with Lemon?
Right.
Yeah.
So they had it bundled, and then after that, you don't jump on board. You gotta pay.
Yeah, but you know what, too? But I'm for some of those people out there, I'm cheap too. So if I could get them to lower the price, maybe I could,
But you're not gonna get them to lower the price when they giving you a Walmart deal.
I mean,
giving you everything, and you still complaining.
But you can't lower the price.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. If I could give me some sales.
I don't know. I'm gonna go to live, but I will say this, man. You can't go any lower than getting Gears for the price.
$65.
No,
then get all the content for free.
For Game Pass, for getting the Game Pass deal,
that too.
And then having that game available for you.
Not only that, right? Here's the best thing.
Let live.
So you're talking about. Hang
on. Bloody. Let live talk, and then you can come in and interject. Can't just have the whole segment.
I was just gonna double up on what he was saying about the bundle and getting on the cheap sheet.
You still gonna say it, ain't you? Go ahead, man.
Let her go. Let her go.
Stop it. Go ahead, Bloody. Go ahead.
Sorry, Bloody. I'm sorry.
What I was trying to say is that he mentioned that if there was any way to get that on the cheap. Well, if you paid attention, and this isn't against you, Hoods, but for everyone else who was complaining, not only was he talking about if you played the game at any time during a certain period, you got some of the content for free. Well, not only that, when they were first using Gears5 as their flagship for launching the Game Pass Ultimate, they said if you got Game Pass Ultimate, which they had that massive 3 months of build up from the end of E3 up into the launch of Gears5 to say, hey, you get any of these specials where you can get a month for $1 or 2 months for $1 and it'll convert everything. They said that if you bought the Ultimate, you got all the Ultimate content that's included with Gears5. So not only did you get all the boost packs that came with it, you also got the character packs that would have came with it, which included Cat and Emil from Halo Reach, and then that also included Sarah Connor and the T-800 from Terminator. They gave a lot of ways to get that stuff for you for free or on the cheap end to support everyone, to have them come out and be able to get it in any way possible. They made those avenues so openly available, yet people still just want to complain.
Go ahead,
Well, I'll apologize to Rod right here, Rod Ferguson, if I went down on you for try to make it cheaper. I'm sorry, man.
Oh shit!
Sometimes I be wanting some deals. That's all.
It's okay.
You can't get a better deal than Game Pass, bro. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah. Go ahead, Live. What's your thoughts about this?
My question is, so people are complaining that the cosmetics are too expensive, right?
Right.
Okay. Are they earnable through playing the game?
Yeah.
From what I understand, yes. You have to put in work, but yes, they are earnable.
Is it a normal amount of work, or you just if you play the game on a regular basis, you should be able to get these cosmetics?
You play the game on a regular basis. You know, on a level, on a true fan of Gears level, you'll achieve.
Okay. All right. Well, is it any different than Halo? Because I know my boy, played Halo to death, and he got like all the cosmetics for that. And your boy,
it's different from Halo to a sense. Like for special guests, pretty much you have to buy those. Or really,
You have to buy those. But with Halo, it's just rep packs, and it's just nothing but cosmetics. And then like if you want to go wild out, you can earn it by playing a lot of Warzone stuff like that, or you could just buy those packs. Yeah,
No, you can earn it. I'm still trying to get this one thing where you got this scarf around your neck and it's look grimy. And they got this ill helmet. I've been chasing it since the game came out.
Oh, my boy. And that's what I liked about Halo's Halo's rec packs as well, is that they were random. Like you could buy a whole bunch of them, but that don't mean you're gonna get the shit you want.
You better off just grinding and getting the point.
Better off grounding,
10,000 and
right.
But it's an option. Like I said, if they giving you an option, like I love Overwatch. I bought some stuff in Overwatch. I spend maybe $100 on top of Overwatch.
You just gonna take over Live spot right there like that?
But Live be like, and and
But Live is just building up before he starts kicking
my bad.
it out.
I wasn't at the mic. My bad. I'm sorry. Sorry, Live. Take over, Death Stranding. Deliver that package.
You just Grand Theft Auto on his ass, man. You just kicked him out of his own spot.
So in any way,
that's what I'm talking about. Slow charge.
Listen, it's not a big deal. I don't see it as being like, it'd be different if I play it every day and I feel like, man, I play this game every day and I don't earn shit. Then that's a problem. But if you play enough horde modes or whatever, and you get what you get all the I don't even know how to even get points in it, because I haven't played Gears because there's been so many other games to play, man. After I beat the campaign, I haven't really jumped back into the multiplayer yet. That'll probably be, when's this shit gonna slow up? After Star Wars? So probably Christmas.
Yeah, but there's still Civilization, but I'm gonna have to cop that on the later day.
Oh, you want your one on that?
Oh,
Civilization. Civilization's good. I'm right there with you on that one, man.
I love Civilization, bruh. I'm like to finally get that on console. Yeah, but I'm gonna have to because I guess Star Wars is my last one because I went ahead and I bit the dust on.
Yeah, Star Wars is the last one for me.
On Need for Speed, but now I'm cutting you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean,
Lemon.
Look, I have no issues with the way they do it as far as like earning, because I'm trying to think. In Forza, what was the last Forza we got? That was Horizon, right?
Horizon 4, yeah.
Now that one you have to buy the deal. You have to. I would see with Forza. I don't know if they ever have an ultimate like the same way. I think they'll still probably have their.
No, they have. I don't think no. No, they got so much clout they can go ahead and because for the last ever since 6, I spent $100 on every Forza that's came out.
Yeah, and then 100 spent like 40 because he got the game through Game Pass, but then paid for the season pass for like $40, which I was mad because I didn't know that you could do that shit. So, but yeah, man. I mean. They can look into doing something like that in the future. Like if people gonna bitch like that, but like, all right, you motherfuckers, we gonna do season passes. Since Gears not gonna come out every year anyway, I don't know how many seasons they gonna do. They can pull a Destiny shit and be like, all right, look, and just throw hella character skins at people and charge $40 for the year and do the same thing next year. And then be like, all right, we're not doing that shit no more because we gearing up for the next game. So,
yeah, no, I
do it that way.
Yeah, no, they could. But see, like that's the thing. Gears is in a weird, complex situation. I believe I agree with Bloody Hoods on this. I mean, I find it to be difficult to try to listen to the community when the community constantly keeps changing themselves. You see, we don't want loot boxes. It's like what pretty much everybody's been saying. Like what Op said, we don't want loot boxes. We don't want season pass. We don't want to pay all this extra. Okay, we got something for you. We have Game Pass. You can go ahead and get this. We got this new service with the Ultimate. You can go ahead and you can get this, and you can support us by buying cosmetics if you're not diehard into Gears like that, and go ahead and support the team by going ahead and buying these cosmetics for $10 a piece. Okay, all right, or however the price may range. Then we took away the loot boxes because you said you hated them so much. They're a cancer to the community. What about the kids? We got you. And you still complain. Listen, at the end of the day, you know what? You got to just do what you got to do as a company. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys are all about being selfish as fuck. This is gross to me. Like, you can't be a content creator, and it's just like what Sir X-Man said, keep taking money on dissing a lot of these games that you play to get money and revenue off of, and then bitch about they don't need to get all this extra money, but you do. That's not fair. That's not fair to those content not to the content creators, but to the developers that bust their ass to get that game out there so you can make that profit off of it. That's not right. That's not right at all. I think there should be happy mediums, but the one thing that I think that's the biggest issue is that you have to have that same energy all across the board. You can't sit here and look at how PUBG do the shit that they do and be fine with it just because that's not a game you play, but you're primarily a PC player. But then yet, oh, no, I'm over here because I want to play this Xbox game. I want to have PC assets. No, bitch, that don't work that way. You got to understand how it is overall and what everybody has to do, because I've played plenty of PC games that I'm over here trying to play me some Street Fighter versus Tekken, and them servers if not are dog shit dead, they're pretty
Trash.
much in a position to where I'm only playing like 2 or 3 people. That's it. So I don't know, man. It's like you got to have there's got to be a happy medium. If we keep on bitching about it, it's going to be a situation where we're going to start seeing games that's going to be $80 a pop. And then what's the gaming community going to do? I think that's the one. I think that's where everybody's. I think that's one of the reasons why there's so many companies that's going and trying to do the subscription thing, because I think they know they have to recoup this money one way, shape, or form instead of trying to raise the price to where everybody sees it and sees it up front in their face and try to catch them on the slide. Hi, baby. My baby's here.
Call of Duty was what, 200 before? COD was 200, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. COD was.
You pay $100 for a season pass and then another $100 for something else. Like,
hey, you know what? This girl gonna come into my house with a Coach purse. Hey, man. You know what? You know what's going on around here. You coming in my house with a Coach purse on, and you ain't got Star Wars for me. I need the Jedi Knight.
He's a pocket watcher for his wife. Dang.
Oh shit! Look, she walked off from me.
Death's trending packages.
What'd you say? What'd you say? Oh, you did give me Need for Speed, but that's not enough. That Coach purse costs more than Need for Speed, and I need to recoup to get started.
Oh, she said it's her birthday. Oh, we heard that one.
But I got your birthday.
It don't matter. She said what she said. You gotta deal with it.
I got your birthday.
I was gonna sleep on the couch tonight.
I thought it was no drama podcast.
I got yours. This is a drama-free podcast. I got your birthday gift on the wall, and I'm in a bow. The big bear is in a bow.
Man, you better get them.
Quit while you're here, bro. You be sleeping outside in a minute, bro. Quit while you're here, man.
Get them grip controllers.
Yo, fellas, I got a quick announcement.
You pregnant?
Oh shit!
I gotta go.
All right, man. Get your ass out of here. Bye.
Want to wait back his TV and everything. I love everybody. Thanks for everybody stopping by your hood. You got to link up with me.
All right, will do.
Peace.
New York connection. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace. All right, man. Good for being on. Peace. All right. So, all right. For me being messy over here, just giving her a hard time. Her purse. It was nice. I don't know. I mean, her purses, so it is what it is. What Kuna still say? She's like, I don't want to hear you tweeting that you're sleeping in the garbage. I mean in the garage. I got what you said. Oh shit. No.
Oh shit.
I ain't gonna be in the garage. It's all good. I'm just giving her a hard time. I'm just messing with her. But anyway, no, this wasn't me being serious. She knew I was giving her a hard time. That's why she was over there showing her purse and waving it at me. Like, mine. So, what's our X-Men say? DLC starting on the OG Xbox because PlayStation 2 does not have an internal hard drive, so Microsoft started doing DLC so the games for its games first PC don't count. I got you. But I mean, it's just one of those things to me. I think DLC, but DLC came during the 360 PlayStation 3 era. That was kind of like when they started to do it, especially with Call of Duty. Call of Duty kind of brought that into the forefront. And there was other games that started doing it, and then they seen that gamers was comfortable of doing it. So, and now it's manifested to loot boxes and everything else, and then this so-called free-to-play shit. I think that's the biggest gimmick in gaming to me. If you want to be honest, I think the free-to-play games are the biggest hoax out of gaming. Period. Because
high key, they pretty much are.
Yeah. Do you guys think the free-to-play games are really free?
No, they're not.
No.
I would love them to do it for basketball and Madden and all that shit. Why? Because every time I gotta play these damn games every year, I'm paying for the same shit every year, $60. Make it free to play and let me buy my team. That's it.
I mean, that's a different way of looking at it, but I mean, yeah, that could work. But I don't know.
That's absolutely a wonderful way to think about it, because that's something that a lot of people say is that if you look at a lot of these sports games, some of them haven't done much improving year over year. I was like, there was a few.
You're breaking up, Bloody. You're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
I was saying there was a steady couple years where the growth and the improvements of the games were very, very noticeable, and that it was a much stellar improvement. And then I think it was after 2013 or 14, at least I've seen with Madden and a few others, is that it started tapering off on how much of an improvement the games after that get. And same that we've seen with some of the 2K, with the way that you and Lemon talk about everything and the NBA 2Ks and stuff like that. After the past couple of years, they haven't been that steady improvements. Why are these games still being $60, releasing on an annual basis? But all they're doing is updating the stats of the teams, adding new rosters, but the actual systems within the game aren't necessarily improving for the better. Sometimes they're a little bit more tedious. So why don't they just make it to where, hey, guess what? The new year's out, the new updated rosters are, you can buy the team that you want. The online rosters will update against whoever you're playing as. Or if you want to put more money into it to do all the online stuff, like with the my team or whatever, and all that, the all-star stuff, you can put into that, like we've seen with like FIFA. But the actual content of it all is not necessarily improving for the better, or doing much to actually be worth having to pay $60 on the annual.
No, I disagree with that. Now, I will say, for buying like ultimate editions of certain games, of certain sports games, I can agree with you on that aspect. But these games, I play most of these sports games. I see the difference. The problem though with like 2K, for instance, is they're online. Their servers are ass, and then as much money as they recoup, you would think that they would do better for their fan base, but they don't. And there has to be answers, because a lot of times when I see the drive, I see the hunger, I see what they do with what they do with the game when you play offline, because it's special. But you want to have that same experience when you play online, and don't get that same energy. Unlike with Madden, I've seen great improvement from what we've seen from the whole generation, from the PlayStation 3 360 era of Madden to them trying to get it right at the beginning of this generation, and finally getting it right to where that the online is spectacular.
That's the thing with these sports games. You get the beginning of the generation, you get an upgrade, and in the end of the generation, you get an upgrade. But in between, you're like, it's the same shit. At least for my opinion.
No. It's all good. It's all good. What's up with you, Megatron? Good to see you come in, man. Our boy Lemon had to step away, so it's just us right here, but we got our special guest. But anyway, we got two more topics, man. We've been talking about that. We talked about Death Stranding for a minute. That was crazy. So let's move on and go to the last two topics. And then the big topic of the night, which kind of sounds crazy because it should have, we talked about that a long time ago, but it's about Yoshida. And I don't see how that there's anybody conflicted about this situation. I think that there should be a little concern, because there's been a lot of moving and shaking at Sony, and we don't see that. Now, I have people that wanted to argue me down about if Yoshida got demoted, or if he demoted himself, is the move lateral, all of this stuff, but nobody talk about a person that's supposedly had a successful stance on what was going on with PlayStation, and looking at where the PlayStation 4 and what it's done, hitting over 100 million consoles sold, being the market leader, all of that jazz, having some great content. Some people are saying some of their games are games of the generation, all of that, right? And to have all that success, but then the person that was in the forefront, one of the people that was part of the forefront with that is stepping out of that role of being head of World Studios, going to be a part of the indies, and Then you had someone that was a part of that was part of PlayStation for over 20-some years that stepped down, was a part of the PSP movement. He leaves. You got Yoshida. I'm not Yoshida. I'm sorry. You got
Sean Layden.
You got Sean Layden. You had Andrew House. You have Boyd.
Jim Ryan.
You've had a huge cover, and plus some of the no names that were part of the marketing team from Sony that moved over to Microsoft, and to all the other people that has left and moved, and then the rumors of layoffs coming to cut back and to make with the layoffs what they were doing with Sony in Europe and all of that. I would think that there would be some calls of alarm, and nobody from the PlayStation camp that I know of has, what's going on, Bloody? Are you playing with zippers or something?
Oh, sorry, no.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to figure out, like, are you undressing?
No. My roommate just brought me a drink, so I'm getting sippy, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay.
You need to move that away from the mic, because that shit.
Hold on. What grown man says sippy? Come on.
Yeah. Thank you, Thank you.
Listen here.
Man, that's worse than
sippy.
saying strudel. Come on.
Hey, whoa, no, that's just keeping it PC. All right.
Okay, so that
I got a drink in my hand. All right, leave me alone.
Just say adult beverage. That's a perfect adult milk.
Look, I'm getting my drink on. God damn it, leave me alone.
Oh my God, sippy. Lord have mercy, man. You're a grown ass man.
Yeah, sippy cup over there. Dang.
Oh man. Anyway, so.
Well, I'm sipping through a straw, so.
Okay, all right, cool. But anyway, so I'm going back to our guest.
These mother suckers.
Frisky and licky.
Oof. Okay, so I'm going to a guest. What is your whole thoughts about this? First off, the whole did Yoshida get demoted? Or is this a lateral move? What is this? Do you think that there should be some cause of concern going into the next generation with PlayStation?
Is that for me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. Now, I definitely think PlayStation got it's not all bad because they're restructuring, right? So basically, they had PlayStation Europe, PlayStation Japan, PlayStation freaking Africa, PlayStation every freaking where. So they needed to centralize everything where one person makes a decision. Because you saw when they made that deal with Microsoft, Azure or whatever, and Sean Layden was like, "Nah, we knew about this. Oh, we didn't. They're not gonna do this." Like he wasn't in the know. They had him on the side, like, "Nigga, we're not gonna tell you nothing." So the way they doing it now is this one person's gonna run the show, and he's gonna be the boss of everybody. And whoever's not with his camp, you got to get the fuck out. And they're running it like a real, true organization where most organizations already. Microsoft did that. They did that when they got rid of all the freaking con artists and all these dudes that was out there, and Microsoft, like Xbox, had to report to Microsoft. Now Xbox is at the table.
That was during the Donny D era, right? Yeah, when everyone was still under Ballmer.
Exactly. So before, Phil and everybody had to report to somebody, then they report to that person, then they go up the chain. Now it's all different. Now it's more one person reporting to another person. That's it. Just like that streamline. And I think Sony is doing that in a way. But the problem is, when you're a big dude, like when you Yoshida and you got a job where you're the top dog, and they tell you go over here, sit over here, and handle those little French fries over there, that's a demotion. Like no matter what you look at it, it's a demotion for him. And for him, for everyone in PlayStation camp to be like, oh, he chose this or whatever. No one chooses to go down the ladder. No one. Like, that's just not how it is. But I do think that PlayStation is doing the right moves by putting everybody that's aligned with a certain camp together. And we'll see how that turns out, because it looks like they want to do everything that Xbox is doing. They want to do Game Pass. They want to do all that extra shit. They just have a hard time explaining it to their freaking numbskull of fan base that just don't want to see it happen. And you see him say it, like they're scared that they could devalue exclusives by putting it out there. So they're testing the waters, and they made what, 33% increase?
Yep.
In that one shot. But the problem with that is whoever came in there for God of War is not going to stay there for 6 months paying you the same money if you don't drop new games that's coming on PS4 or PS5. So they got an issue that they got to figure out. But I definitely think that whole thing was a demotion, and they trying to do different things now. So it's gonna be interesting to see how PS5 turns out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. What is your thoughts about this, man? I mean, do you think, first off, do you think that this is more of a lateral move or of a demotion? I see our girl Kunastina. She thinks that it's more of a lateral move. But what is your take on this whole situation? I mean, should there be some kind of concern at least for PlayStation to be in such a good spot right now to be moving all of these people all around?
Well, it could be a little bit of both as lateral or demotion, but it's definitely a demotion. Like you do as an executive, he's head of Worldwide. He was head of Worldwide Studios. You don't just like leave that to go to a lesser position and you just call it stepping down. Nah. Like, he got kicked out from there. But this is definitely a bizarre move because, like, in Xbox right now, Chris Charla, he's head of Idea Xbox. He was hired specifically to nurture and maintain independent developers. But over here, so the head of Worldwide Studios got demoted. I almost stepped down. He got demoted to then head that initiative. I don't understand why they couldn't hire someone to do that instead of him staying up there. So he was demoted, but it's like he was taken out of position and just replaced. He was replaced immediately. So like, this whole situation is real fishy, man. Like you do not see moves like this, especially something this drastic and this sudden coming out of nowhere. Like I don't know, man. Like nothing about this really makes sense to me because like I said earlier, you will have to hire somebody for that position. You don't just take your top executive, just move them down there for no reason. Because like with Sharon Loftus, she was I forget her previous position, but she was wide on Twitter.
She was
so they demoted her.
Part of marketing. She was I think she was somewhere like under Aaron Greenberg in part of marketing.
Yeah, she had that previous position. She's on Twitter. She said something they didn't like, so they demoted her to head over the Asian Empire studio.
Right.
So like that's a specific situation, but for this,
Sharon, I don't think Shannon was marketing. I think she had a part in marketing, but I believe she was originally the ones who oversaw the Microsoft Studios. She was the one who ran.
She was first party.
Yeah, she ran Microsoft Studios when that was still its own before they changed it over and then said, hey, well, now we're going to put all the studios under one umbrella and not have like a main studio.
She was part of, Kunastina said she was part of GM Global Publishing. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that was the first party. So she was the head of Microsoft Studios when it was still called that.
Right. So.
All right, cool. But people say this is a good thing. I don't see how. Like, yes, he has a passion for indies, but like at the same time, like they literally took from one position, a higher position, and moved down something like low tier as this. When it could quote unquote easily hire someone to manage and maintain indie studios. So yeah, I don't know, man. This is real spooky to me.
Yeah. What do you think, Live?
Well, I mean, maybe he's just old and got rickets, and he just can't get around like he used to. So they figured they'd lock him in the indie tower and have him just do that. I'm thinking that might be the case. I mean, I don't know. How old is Shuhei?
55.
Oh, he's old. Oh, he ain't that old. 55? Really?
55 ain't that old.
He looks old as shit.
Oh, stop it.
He does.
Yeah, he does look old. He definitely don't look 55. He look like he done pushed something.
In the 60s at least.
No, he's 55.
Christ.
So maybe that could be one of the reasons. I was told this. Well, you 55, you thinking about wanting to...
Tom Cruise is 60-something. Is he Tom Cruise? Okay. He's in his 60s.
Well, that's different. Tom Cruise got long paper. Come on now.
He got the LeBron jeans. He just, he got the LeBron jeans. He looked old before he looked young. That's all.
Well, I mean, yeah, come on. I mean, Tom Cruise got really long paper. Yoshida got paper, but he ain't got Tom Cruise paper.
I'm just saying, Tom Cruise, bro, 65. That's like Jada Pickett's mama.
Okay, are we gonna talk about the man's look, or we gonna talk about the? Come on, bro. Come on.
All right, well, look, man, you threw me off, bro. Come on, that age threw me off, man. You can't just throw out no age like that and just expect me to just bounce right back.
Jesus
I mean,
I thought when Lemon left, the messiness was kind of cut off.
Hey, how was I supposed to know? Good grievies, man. All right, well, but look, I mean, he's been there for a while. He might not be ready to go. Like, because I remember when I used to work at my other job, being a professor. There was this guy who was a professor. He retired and came back, and I remember asking him, I was like, "Why you decide to come back?" He was like, "I get tired of just being at home with my wife all the time." So maybe that's what he's doing. He don't want to stay home with his wife. He'd rather just work, but not a lot, or as much as he once did. So be the head of indies, come in on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and shit like that.
Okay, so but would you look at that as a lateral move or a demotion?
It's a demotion.
Okay. All right. That's all I want to hear. From
the coach to the assistant coach. You mean?
Thank you. That's all I want to hear.
I would even say the assistant coach. He works on people's free throws and shit or something like that. I don't know.
All right. Who else? I think this. Okay, this is me. All right. Then we get to the last topic. But okay, this is my concern, right? Look, not that I think that Sony is going to just completely fall off the rails, all that stuff. They have a plan. The person that they're coming in, obviously, they feel that the man that was the head of Guerrilla Games that's taken over, Herman's Helm or something like that. He's supposed to be doing a great thing or whatever. What did Sir X-Men say? K-Meg, I thought the show was rated PG, background rated R. Oh, come on, man. We rated N17. So we can get away with a little bit of stuff. But anyway. But no, this is the thing for me. I have a problem with how some of these fanatics, not PlayStation fans, of course, I got to do this disclaimer damn near every time I say this. But it feels like a kind of the Kojima part where you gotta get told about the hints all the damn time. But not the PlayStation fans, but these fanatics that they want you to tippy toe. And I'm not gonna tippy toe over something that I feel that's concerning. I'm a gamer. I own this PlayStation just like you do. So why the fuck should I shut my mouth and just over here follow the rules like a good boy because you want everybody else to? I think that it's a problem. I don't see how all of these people that have been a part of PlayStation's success from the very beginning, or from the part from where they was from the PlayStation 2 era all the way down to now, are stepping away or getting forced out. Obviously that there's a lot of changes going on, and what I've said a million times about how PlayStation is about to do the same thing that everybody else is going to do eventually, except for Nintendo. Nintendo can do what Nintendo don't care too much about selling 100 million consoles. They have a whole slew of ways of making money because they have a strong stance in the handheld market with their games. Now, PlayStation, even though there'll be people that will love the next God of War, love Horizon Zero Dawn and The Last of Us, but you got to put in consideration of the games that's just come out like Death Stranding and all those other games like that. How are you going to see those type of games if they aren't going? If they're only on that same every exclusive just stays on our console, we'll sell 100 million when everybody else is over here having a bigger pie to have more access to other gamers across the world. It just doesn't make any sense. And I think the Nintendo was going to have to think about some things too, because I think when xCloud comes into the fray, I think that that's going to slowly start making things change. Because think about this: as a Nintendo fan, as a person as a Nintendo fan, you have a Nintendo Switch, and then eventually they'll have whatever they're going to have after that. But for an Xbox fan to still have all of their library available at their disposal on their phones or tablets, and they have all these games, where do you think they're primarily going to be playing their games at? On Xbox. I mean, that's like Xbox didn't have to make a handheld. They kind of got that. They're kind of trying to jump into the handheld market with the way that their strategy is with this whole streaming thing with xCloud. I think that shit is genius. I think that's going to be the new takeoff for Xbox more than anything else. But with Sony,
I got something to add on to this.
Yeah, okay, cool. But
so,
no, hold on. Let me finish. The thing that I'm concerned about is not, like I said, about Sony falling off or anything like that. It's the thing of all of these new people having their own type of take on what they want to do with this, with their strategy with Sony now. We had to see the adjustments of what Phil had to do after Don Matrick, and that took damn near the whole generation for us to see anything positive come out after the games that we had that we loved and that we was questioning why the hell we ain't getting no Sunset Overdrive or no Quantum Break or no Rise. You know what I'm saying? I'm still pissed off about that if we don't get Rise or Quantum Break. We damn sure ain't gonna get no Sunset Overdrive. So, or you know what I'm saying, or even talk about Record. But those were games that were primarily from Don Matrick from the previous group. So what the hell is going to happen coming down the pike with Sony with their vision on how they want to do their games? I understand that they're still going to have their big 3 or 4. They're not going to let those go. But what's going to happen other than that? And if you read the writing, if you read what they said about they're not going to do day and date with those exclusives at this point, that's not telling you that they're not going to change their mind and do this. And they're not telling you that they're going to keep their exclusively on the console. They're telling you that, hey, we'll see how this works out. If we see that a game like Death Stranding gets sold on PC more than it does on PlayStation, we might consider it a lot quicker than what you guys may want it to do. Go ahead. Say what you got to say.
So JP mentioned something in the chat that I do kind of want to address, and that he was saying how they're bringing in new blood and how Yoshida's been there for a long time. Yes, we know that. We've talked about that, and we know that there's always that big time of when it's coming through. Hood's also mentioned earlier that now they're trying to consolidate everything into one aspect, right? They're trying to bring all together all the different studios and get rid of all these different single markets and put them under one umbrella, kind of like what we saw, again, as you mentioned, that Microsoft did. He also mentioned how they're promoting the head of Guerrilla Games as the new head. So they're bringing in someone who's not necessarily a suit, but a dev. That was kind of the same thing that we saw with Phil coming in as the head of Xbox. Because the fact that you got to think about the history that Phil has with the company. Remember, he was just a single dev way back in the OG Xbox. Then he started working his way up through Microsoft Studios, then was the head of Microsoft Studios before he got to the point of where he was being the head of Xbox before becoming the VP of gaming and stuff like that directly under Nadella. Now, the issue with what's going on with Sony and what makes it more concerning, I understand that they're trying to reorganize, restructure, get that whole aspect together. The thing that's terrifying or worrying about it all that people have to really take into consideration is the fact of you are talking about within the span of 2 years, the amount of turnover rate that has been shown among the executives. That's the part that's concerning, is that when you have literally every major head of every single market get replaced almost immediately, or say they're leaving and then they're gone and there's months of no one in that position, that's where you have to be concerned, because like they have to understand that there's a restructure, but they have to know what they're trying to do with that restructure. Yeah. They have to have an idea of what they're trying to do with it. But with the turnover rate of how many heads of Xbox or PlayStation overall has been showing That's what's concerning. The biggest other part of it that's affecting them is not just the fact that Yoshida's getting. Some will consider it a lateral move because he's still being ahead, but you got to think about the fact that
demotion.
It is
even if he
demotion. Hang on, let me say my point.
No, wait, bloody, chill. Listen, come on now. If it's a demote, don't sugarcoat this shit. I'm not going to let you do it. I'm not going to let you do it. If it's
I'm saying some people, but I was saying from my perspective,
there's no lateral move where you want to do less work. There's no lateral into that. You got to still answer to the person that is in charge of you. Now, that person may give you a lot of respect and take your input, but you still have a boss over you. If he wants to be a dick and override you, he will. Because he is the world, he's the head of world gaming, and you are just an indie, the head of indies. Listen, the scenario that trips me out more than anything is like, I made this point, and then only thing that these crazy ass fanatics would say was that, oh, Xbox don't sell games. They couldn't answer the question. They just made bullshit. This is the problem. They said, I asked, if Phil Spencer went to ID Xbox, what would y'all look at that as? From where the stance he's at now, and he decided, to still work with the company, and he just wanted to go to ID Xbox because Phil Spencer loves indies. What would you call that? That's a demotion. There is nothing else to be said about that. It's not saying that it's bad. It's just the facts.
No, and that's what I was going to say is that some people will consider, but it's not, because of the fact that you're going from overseeing every major studio, which is Sony Santa Monica. You now have Insomniac Games, and of course you have Guerrilla Games, and every other studio under them that's over here. And then of course you have Sony Japan or Japan Studios over there. You're not in charge of those, like you were saying with Phil Spencer going as ID at Xbox. Chris Charla oversees all the small indies that go through that they support. I was like, he still has to go through Phil Spencer for a certain degree, but he's the one who oversees all that. I was like, it's very much still a demotion because of the fact that he's not overseeing every studio by talking just to Matt Booty, because Matt Booty oversees every Xbox game studio, and then he reports that to Phil.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And they work out the play.
There's a big difference. Like I'm saying, if Matt Booty took over Phil Spencer's spot and Phil Spencer went down to Matt Booty's spot or to ID Xbox, that's a demotion. This is the same damn thing. It's just that these fanatics do not want to just tell the truth. Look, if it doesn't matter if Yoshida decided he wanted to go into just indies or if he got pushed out, it's still a demotion. It doesn't matter if he still gets paid the same money or he gets the respect from everybody that's above him. The fact of the matter is that it's a demotion. So anyway. And here's the thing about it, right? And again, them bringing in Herman Holst is not a bad thing. I was like, they're having a dev who has a vision. If he's able to replicate what Microsoft did with Xbox, with bringing in a dev with Phil, that's great. If he has that vision, that's great. But the thing about it is that Shuhei Yoshida is absolutely being demoted. But the other aspect of that people fail to forget is that Sony headquarters was in Japan for so long. Right. They moved that to California. And now they're getting rid of all the other main subsidiaries, such as Sony Europe, Sony Japan, Sony Africa, and all those, and bring it all under Sony Santa Monica and the headquarters that they set up there in California. And they get support in Malaysia as well. They're
doing that. But the thing is, because of that, a lot of the Japanese heads don't appreciate that with what they're doing with that, because of the fact that, remember, Sony was originally a Japanese company, and now they're trying to bring it and centralize it in America, which they're not exactly fans of. And that's what's also caused a lot of shuffling from both sides. That's where the biggest aspect of it, too, is that this is where the business and cultural heads are going at it, and this is where it's going to cause where the major course of concern should be. That's what people are forgetting about that.
That's the thing. Sony ain't growing when they're losing, when they're going away, when they're shrinking they may be going all in with PlayStation, but in the sense of what they're doing with their worldwide
with all their
reach,
other forms of revenue is not supporting.
It's not.
Their Sony Pictures has been losing money year over year, and I think this one was one of the worst.
Yeah.
Their TVs and their cameras are not selling because they can't compete with the masters of those.
Sony itself is not growing. Sony is consolidating, and obviously that's just one of them things. But anyway, let's get to the last topic so we can get out of here. EA Access, and we don't have to go really long with this, but this is one of those things I thought that was pretty interesting. If you are a fan of EA Access, or if you are a subscriber to EA Access, you usually are one of those people that get the chance to get to play the trial of whatever game that they're going to have come out for 10 hours before it comes out. Well, with Star Wars, the Fallen Jedi, the Fallen Order, they decided to pull that. It's got a little uproar. I'm pretty sure it'll turn to a bigger uproar. But what do you think about this? I mean, like, I seen that when I was trying to play Need for Speed at first, and I was trying to broadcast it through the trial. It would let me show content, but it wouldn't let me play the audio of anything. And then once I went ahead and I was like, hey man, I'm liking this Need for Speed, and I went ahead and bought it and then played it. Of course, everything came back, but I still got to play the game for 10 hours. Well, I think that they're just pulling it all together where you can't even play the game. Their reasoning is because of spoilers. They don't want anybody to spoil the game before it comes out. So, Hood, what is your thought? You know what I'm saying? What is your thoughts about this? Do you think this is a right call from EA, or do you think that this is some shenanigans?
I definitely think it's a shenanigans. I think for the first thing that I would say is EA Access is the crackhead of EA Origin.
You said it's the crackhead?
Because if you look at it, then you go, it's a crackhead. You go to EA Access, and all you get is like demos. You get demos, and then exactly
you get that taste that makes you want to buy it.
Like, oh, I need some more. Let me go buy it. Then you like, why couldn't I just get the EA Origin? Why are you separating your fan base where you could just say, hey, here's EA Origin on console. You pay $100 and you get what you want. You get the game. Forget about the trial. They definitely fucked up on the trial because you can't even get it on the PC. So both places got the shaft on that. Right. But I'm just sad that the fact that you can't get EA Origin on console. Like, why do I want half the service? Why don't I want to pay just to get the 10 trials, and then you're gonna take that away from me too? Like, nah, just give me the one service. You don't imagine if Game Pass was different on PC than console, where you paid for one and you got games, and you paid for the other one you could try games. Like, and you just play the old game. It's stupid. It just doesn't make sense how they just kind of have two of the same services but separate for different customers. So I think people should just ban. Like, I don't know who pays for EA Access. Like, I paid for it when it first came out. I paid for it when it first came out, but then I was just like, nah, I'm done. Like, I'd rather just pay the $100. If you buy two games, you buy Madden and FIFA, or Madden and Battlefield, you're always gonna spend $120. And EA Origin is $99. That's just two games.
I don't pay for Origin. I pay for EA Access.
But I'm saying if you did pay for Origin, you would
no, I won't do it. I find it ridiculous. Like, by your point, what you're saying.
Yeah, it's crazy. They need to just cut access, take that shit away. Nobody wants that shit. It's $30 was a great price, but just give us the $99 subscription. Just give us that service and call it a day. Because then you wouldn't care, because then you would just get your game when it released. Day and date, no problem. Would be the same with the PC, with no issues. And you wouldn't worry about no trials, getting it early or whatever, because you're going to get the game when the game comes out. That's how I see it. I don't really care for EA Access. But they did do people dirty by getting that trial out of the way.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Bloody?
I mean, I paid the $30 for the year for EA Access, and I was like, I've used it to help kind of judge if I'm going to play a game or not. Because right now, EA's been kind of back and forth if the game is good. But for the most part, I've always enjoyed it, and be able to get that 10-hour trial, and then hey, guess what? I can buy the game outright for like 10 or 15% cheaper. I was like, that's cool. But ever since they introduced the Origin and said, hey, you know what? Guess what? Origin, you'll pay the $100 for the year. Y'all get every game when it releases day and date. And the fact is, we kind of saw this whole switch up with everything when they were talking about, can't remember what game it was earlier. Oh, it was actually Anthem, right? When they were talking about how which game gets to play early access, which game gets full access, and what time, and this, and that. And, you know, Anthem's a whole other story. But they were saying, you know, EA Origin gets to play it a whole week early, gets the full game. Or no, they get to play 2 weeks early, got the whole game. But then a week before launch, if you had EA access, you can only play the 10 hours and only go to like the first 3 story missions in the game. And then you would only be able to do free play and then had to wait until the game launched. And then after that, you had to buy it, right? I agree with him that it's cool to get an idea, but right now with the way that subscription services, especially look at something like Xbox Game Pass, just let us be able to buy out a year if we want and give us the full access. Like this little tidbit was great when they first introduced it, you know, back at the beginning of the generation or whatever. But nowadays, it's not needed. Just let us be able to buy the year, get the better service that you've now introduced on PC, and mix the two together. It makes it easier. And then let us just play what every game launches fully when it does. Or if you still want to, guess what? Let us be able to play the game a week early for 10 hours, and then on the date that it comes out, we get to play the full game. If you want to keep that aspect, do that. But the way that it is now, it's not sustainable at this point anymore. Early on in the generation, it would have been a lot more sustainable for the $30 for a year when they had a little bit more to kind of try and get an idea of. Nowadays, a lot of people are kind of iffy on whether they want to support EA or not. But when they do something good, it's just like, yeah, let's do it. Why not just allow everyone to be able to do that and then still have access to the vault? Why is that such a complicated issue nowadays? I was like, I agree that they need to get rid of EA access and just bring Origin for Xbox and console and everything like that, and just allow them to have that.
No, I agree. The only thing I disagree with on this is that I think what EA is doing on their stance of not wanting to have people play the free trial of Jedi Knight is, I agree with that, because you know exactly what people are going to do out of that 10 hours. Now, I think the game might be maybe 15 to 20, maybe even 30 hours long, right? But there's plenty of spoilers, and people can actually probably maybe run through the game, beat it, and then just spoil it for everybody that's anticipating this game through that EA trial. So I think maybe what they should have done is where anybody through that 10 hours can't stream anything. Now, I don't know if they had the power to try to do that. Like I said, I was streaming Need for Speed, or I was trying to stream Need for Speed, and it said you can't do that, right? You can't do that through the trial. But I was still picking up clips, and then I was still posting it on social media, and people will still hear it, but people will still see it, but they couldn't hear the music or the dialogue. So, with a game like Star Wars, it's a single player experience. Once you get done with it, you're done. So if you show that game off, then that just will spoil the experience of it. So I think that's kind of crazy. You're clicking on those keyboards pretty loud, man. Anyway, so it's one of those things. I just think that it's crazy. I don't know, man. I do agree with the fact that that Origins and EA Access need to be combined for, if you want to do it for $100, cool. But having them the way that they're separated, the way they are, and now since PlayStation has access, and you can't have that same bundle between that, like I wouldn't mind paying $100 a year to have access on PC and PlayStation, but and Xbox. But you asking me to pay another $30 a year on top of $30 that, or how, however much I pay for EA access for my Xbox, and to pay an extra fee on the PC, which it all kind of comes up to the same thing. but it just doesn't sit well with me mentally because I'm paying a lot more. I'm paying for 3 different entities that should all be the same. So yeah, I think EA really fucked up on that aspect of it. Like what he said, I think that they really have to do better with that because when you look at it from the streaming services, from what we have right now and for what's coming, EA Access is going to be lacking seriously unless they come out with a whole bunch of huge bangers where a lot of people want to stick with EA Access. Because if they had a Namco Bandai like they're suggesting, or pretty much think of Capcom and what Capcom has to offer with Monster Hunter and the Resident Evils and anything else that they got coming up here, the Devil May Cries and all those games, shit, I'm all over Capcom's services instead of EA Access. So they better think about something. They better be thinking about it pretty quick. Anyway, do anybody else want to finish this off before we go ahead and do our sign outs?
Nah, we good. I was like, everyone else already gone. It's just us.
Yeah, it's just us, man. Everybody else bounced out. They act like we start the show on time. So it is what it is, man. So anyway, man, Hood News, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. I know it was short notice, like I said.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. We definitely got to bring you back on again. It seemed like Lemon's got this New York love for you, man. So I'm gonna have to definitely. I'm pretty sure he's like, Mega, man, let me holler at that dude, man. So anyway, we do this thing at the end of the show called Fail of the Week. So if you have any, and it could be anything. It doesn't have to be about gaming. It could be about anything. So if whatever's just your Fail of the Week, let us know and then tell everybody where they can find you at.
Yeah, I could always find Hoodnewzmedia and just let everybody know. Sometimes you be talking to me, or you can talk to BX Lou or Ice Baby. It's a crew. It's not one person. So if you think you're talking to me and it's on Twitter, you might have to just ask who you're talking to because it's a whole group of us just under that one moniker, just kind of trying to put us out there for New Yorkers. And we definitely do a lot of stuff on Twitter. You find us on Facebook. We got a closed Facebook group. You can reach us on that. And you can find us on YouTube. We do a lot of stuff about TV shows and wrestling and not too much stuff about games. I try to do that on my own. So the game stuff is usually me. And if you want to find me on Xbox, it's TKO1111. Just come holler. Just come play some games, have some fun. That's about it.
No doubt, man. Appreciate it. Gonna have you come back on the show, man. And anytime that you wanna, just wanna come on, wanna talk about whatever the topics is that week. Say, hey man, I gotta talk about it, man. Just hit me up, man.
I'm ready. I'm ready. You can get me on. If you get me on, I'm on. I'm Friday's my day, so let me know.
Cool. I'll definitely let you know. Cool. All right. Bloody, where can they find you at, man? What's your fail of the week, man?
My fail of the week. My fail of the week is that video y'all posted up on Twitter when I was sick last week. Y'all over there making fun of me. Like, oh, Mega, I'm sick. Oh, what's that, little bloody? You all right? No, I can't talk. You ass. But I couldn't lie. That was hilarious. It was pretty good. I can't speak.
Oh, man.
But that was hilarious. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, you suckers!" I was like, "But that had me dying laughing."
I do that to everybody, man. I'm doing it to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
That's why 100 could come on here, man. He was scared. He was scared because I brought a PlayStation dude in here, man. He didn't want to come in here and face the music. Anyway, go ahead, man.
It's okay because you had the true gamer here, the one who's all about being about it and not just talking about it. Just saying, there's a lot of frauds out there. But your boy was here. But guys, you can follow me everywhere on all my social media at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Of course, you can also find me on Mixer where I stream 5 times a week, as well as over on youtube.com/bloodynux, BLOODIE_KNUX. Follow me. After I get off of here, I will be live with more Death Stranding. So if you want to go join me with that, Christine, I know I'm going to see you there, but everyone else, if you want to come join me while I do more of this smorgasbord of whatever the fuck this game is, make sure you come join me out because we're going to have some fun with it. And, also make sure y'all tune into my channel tomorrow because I'll be hosting the Smash Podcast as always. Your little corner of the internet for all things nerd news and geek goodness. We do all things manga, anime, comics, TV shows, and movies. So we got you on a lot of news that's coming up, guys. So thank y'all.
Right, no doubt. All right, cool. And since that was it, everybody else bounced out on us, man.
Yeah, they all bounced the hell out.
They all bounced out.
You can find them in you can find them in the description below. Who cares? They didn't do they sign outs. They didn't do their sign outs.
Fuck them. Anyway, so
fuck it.
Yeah, man. So all right. As for me, as you know, man. As I always say, and I'm gonna let Bloody say it because I say it, and then sometimes I get muffled mouth because I be drinking at the end. And then I'll be like,
and I be drinking. I can still put it out there. Right?
I can still put it out there, but yeah, I like when everybody else because they be paying attention. I like it because people still hit me up with it. That's cool. I like that when they say the pants off dance. Go ahead, bro.
Guys, y'all know what it is. It's Friday night, so you should be doing one of two things. If you ain't got to work in the morning, you best be gaming. And if you ain't gaming, you best be taking your ass to bed. And if you ain't doing that, there's only one other thing you should be doing, and that's the pants off dance off.
Damn right. All right. My fella of the week, I got to do it to you, Bloody. That shit that we was talking about on Twitter yesterday. I mean, not yesterday. What was it? Thursday?
You talking about my monster girls? Leave me alone.
Yeah, your monster girls. Listen, I know that there's dudes out there that like the anime girls and stuff. They have them all proportionate and stuff like that. I get that. I'm not tripping about that, right? But for you to got to say out of the two, there was a green chick, right? And then there was
my slime girl.
Yeah, there was a chick. There was a green chick, and then there was a regular chick. One was clean, bathed. She had water and suds on her and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool, like that. But you said you like the fish chick, and I'm saying,
yeah, a mermaid.
And she's a mermaid, but man, her.
Well,
hair,
hey.
her
So here's the funny
like,
thing: the girl that you thought
slimy.
was very clean and all normal. Yeah. You know she's a centaur, right?
Okay, so she got a body like a horse, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so like you into some weird shit, right? Like, and then
what part of Monster Girls do you not understand? It's in the title.
I just see the top. I just see the top of them.
I mean, if you really want, I was like, we can get exotic, and I can get you the snake girl if you want.
Man, listen. All I want to do is give me a real girl. Like that's all I care about. I don't care about no all that crazy shit. But to me, that was
do you want a Cyclops? Or how about an ogre? What about a zombie? I got you. You want regular? I got you proportions, my bro.
I'll tell you.
Look, a Cyclops is just a regular woman, just one big eye. That's it.
I can do Cyclops because I mean, I would. I think a lot of people would smash old girl from Futurama. I think a lot of people would smash.
Futurama.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would smash the girl from Futurama, but. That chick with the crazy looking hair and she blue and she a fish chick like you said. I'm like that chick.
The girl that had the blue hair. I'll say it. That's just literally she's just a slime. She's literally a slime. I was like the mermaid has purple hair.
Okay, well regardless, I mean you talking about something that lays up in the water. That's in there. That's got man. Fuck that. That shit, man. She smell like corn chips and fucking and ass. Like that's ridiculous. No, I mean, so you got to put some suds on that. So that's the fail of the week for Bloody, man. I don't know what's going on.
It's my fail of the week. Yeah, my blue thing defending me, and you over here talking mad.
Sharice was defending that, and I'm just kind of like, all right.
That's because my boo loves me. Like I said, the ladies love me. Y'all just give me shit. Y'all don't believe me.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Shinzo might approve. I don't know. We'll find out.
Shinzo, I got you. I'm typing in the chat for you, Shinzo.
No, I don't know. She said, Kunistina said, K-Mega deceived me. What are you talking about? I'm cool with anime. I'm like, look, I'll tell you this. Like, if you gonna give me an anime girl, give me old girl from the story with Jubei, and the Devils of Gamon. Give me the chick that was the
here,
poison tester.
You want a girl that's badass that you will love that will make you be like,
give me the poison tester from Ninja Scroll. No. Give me the poison tester from Ninja Scroll. I'm cool with that. But
look up Remy. Watch Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon. That chick will put a bullet between your eyes faster than you can say shit. But man, she hot doing it.
Okay, all right. I've gone too far. Okay, what about the witch chick? She got her own show. The witch chick. She turned to a demon and stuff when she goes crazy and kills people. That's an anime. Or the Ghost in the Shell chick. Give me that.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell is what up. Hey guys, I got a bounce, but gotta start that Friday night. Gotta get those drinkings. So
yeah, we going long.
See, when the Japanese enthusiast starts his anime discussion, everyone gets involved. Even the chat pops up. That's why I do what I do. We out.
We out. Peace. Everybody have a good night.
All right.
I hope none of the homies listen to the end of this show.
No, I'm gonna post it up. That's how we end it.
Peace, guys.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.